Back everyone, welcome back to another weekend edition here of the CranKy Season 4 Group B week number 2. We are back with the conclusion of the group stage. Again, it's been a very intense couple of weeks here of StarCraft with the qualifiers, with the group stage as well, working through the events, working through something special, some StarCraft Evolution, some SC Evo, papi. Ay. Un momento, as I try to fix up my camera. Un momento. Here we go, we're here, we are back. And again, we're jumping into Group B. So again, last night we were live with Group A, wrapping up the group stage and confirming our top 2 teams making it through. And that was Onside and Starnables out of Group A. Now we're here to determine which are going to be the top 2 teams making it out of Group B. Oh boy. Here in Group B would be featuring Basilisk, Red, White, and Blue, CRHB, and Team Liquid. Some 4 hefty teams, but only 2 will make it through. Once again, to reiterate the format, the event itself, again, welcome to the CranKy tournament. This is a tournament organized by Crank, J1 Choi. Again, Chijik did sponsor the event as well, I should mention that. Chijik did sponsor, Crank did organize, and has been putting together a team league in StarCraft Evolution. Now, the team league itself has been intense. It's a Pro League style format. Pro League style formats, of course. So we do release lineups ahead of time. Teams, they submit their lineups, they get released to the public. Then teams have time to prepare for their upcoming matches in SC Evo. StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does pit together Brood War versus StarCraft 2. Does pit them together against each other. Does have them face off. Oh boy. But here we go. We have our first matchup. We have our first best of 5. Let's head on over to the lineups here. It's going to be best of 5 between Basilisk and Red, White, and Blue. Very quickly here. Bam. As you can see, we do have our teams. Up first for Team Basilisk, we have Serral. Serral going to be the starting player up against Thermal. Oh my god. It's going to be a ZVT in that first matchup, followed by Reynor versus Blask, Trigger versus Goblin, and then Serral versus Blask in game number 4. If we need an ace match, we will have said ace match. That's going to be available in game number 5. But otherwise, we have our 4 initial lineups about to be facing off. Oh boy. Here we go. Once again, when it comes to SC Evo, again, it's Brood War versus SC2. It is a solely Brood War versus SC2. The mod is not balanced for Brood War versus Brood War. Just as a heads up. But here we go. We're going to be getting to our next matchup, into our fresh series, into game number 1. Going to be on Sylphid. Let's go. Let us go. But again, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Hope you all had a great week. It's been a pretty intense week of StarCraft. What with patches being released, with tournaments unfolding as well. It's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. Whew. And we're here to wrap up at least the group stage. Vámonos. We're here to wrap up. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the Brood War Zerg player. Pappy, let's go. We have the Brood War Zerg. We have representing Basilisk from Lena, Finland. It is Serral. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the blue Terran player, the SC2 Terran from Lena, the Netherlands. It is Thermal. Let's go. Let us go. We have our best of 1. We have our best of 1 ready for us here, and I'm excited to see how Serral does handle himself. Remember, Serral, this is not the first time we've seen him play Brood War Zerg. We did feature Serral last week in a bunch of ZVZs, in a plethora of ZVZs, and he was looking very impressive as Brood War Zerg. At least against Zerg, we'll see how he does fare off against Terran. Now, we did see some very heavy lurker play out of Serral when it was playing Brood War Zerg. I'm expecting more lurker play here as well. We could see a Ling into Muta play. That's the other option, but I mean, I don't know how confident or how viable it is to get into mass mutas here, depending on how fragile they are, especially with a more heavy bio setup. We do see that Euthermal does open up with a second Rax already. Okay, so 2 Rax Reaper out of Euthermal. I'm assuming 2 Rax Reaper just because there is a gas geyser behind this as well. Meanwhile, Serral going to be opening up Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Serral so far. Oh boy. Now, we do know that Serral does have some experience in Brood War, and they were even joking about that during their interview as well. Oh, momentum. But I don't know like how confident he is getting into the swing of things here, getting into this kind of series. We'll find out together. Let's go. We'll grow together. True. As now 2 Rax Reapers upon us. So he does find this, thankfully. The first Overlord was sent topside, so he does find the Raxes, is aware of the 2 Rax Reaper coming his way. Serral going for a macro hatchery further back inside of his main base. Interesting location that he opts not to use his macro hatchery to wall off. I feel like that's standard in StarCraft Evolution. You get your macro hatchery here at the natural base, you start your SimCity. SimCity is even more crucial here just because, I mean, you don't have any queens, so trying to wall up and wall off, especially against Hellion aggression, is going to be that much more important here. So interesting choice out of Serral. To me, this tells me maybe some of the inexperience that Serral has, or at least unawareness of the meta. It may not come into play, it may come into play, we'll see. For now, Reaper does poke in, denies mining here at the natural. And does deny mining. With that behind this, we do have our faster lair going to be on the way. So a very fast lair here from Serral. With the fast lair, we can go into fast Hydras, or even, sorry, we can go for the fast Spire. So hey, we could be thinking about fast Muta play. Could be Ling Muta. Until then though, we're going to be denying mining. Yeah, more denied mining. Again, there's no colony in position. Link speed is about to finish up though in 10 seconds. Yeah, we're 10 seconds away. Until then, the hatchery getting somewhat low. I do like that we're being proactive here, catching out 1, 2 Zerglings before Link speed kicks in. 3, 4 Lings going down. Link speed is not done. We do collapse in, and we attempt this around. So far, nice control of the thermal though. Yeah, it kites very well, very nice. He will dominate the Zerglings. No colony here, and no shot. Does it just end? Does it just end here and now? Heavy losses for Serral already. Brutal trades. Again, early game defense here, you're quite reliant on something like colonies, but no colonies were thrown down. And thankfully for Serral, Euthermal only made 3 Reapers. If he had rallied and kept making more Reapers, going up to 5, 6 Reapers, this would have been game, 100%. But thankfully it's only 2 Reapers. They still trade incredibly well. But Serral finding out the hard way how difficult it can be to defend in the early game without safety queens and without side defense either. Meanwhile, we do have the Spire on the way, so it is going to be again 2 base, or really kind of 1 base lair, 1 base Muta, as it was an incredibly fast lair here out of Serral. Lings are flooding across the map, but again, what damage will be done because so far there's a full wall. Yeah, full wall back at home. Sim is almost complete. This should be leading into 1-2 punch. Now, Euthermal, obviously he did not see the Spire. It was thrown down after he was dealt with, but Euthermal did see the lair. He saw the lair, he saw the gases, he saw the lack of hydrogen as well. So Euthermal, he should know 100% that mutas are coming. He can piece it all together. Now, from here, we'll see if Euthermal can hit before we hit a mass amount of mutas. So far, it's going to be a 2 base, 4 racks all in. Yeah, 4 racks in total. Stim is almost done, and soon Euthermal can send it across the map. Now, to defend, especially without colonies, it's going to take a lot of Zerglings. It's going to take a lot of Links here to deal with this. Once again, no static defense here from Serral. This also, again, rings true that it does look like some experience here out of Serral. Like, you do have to heavily rely a lot more on colonies here to survive against things like things like this, moves out like this, but we'll see if we even need that. Can Serral get away with it? 6 mutas on the way. Here comes Euthermal. He is moving out. As he moves out, Lings can move in, and Euthermal, he should wall off here. Hopefully he does. Lings get activated. Oh, yeah, catching a 1, 2, 3 Marines do go down. Euthermal commits. How many Lings to defend? 14. And there it is. Colonies are now on the way, so thank God. I was about to say that without these colonies, I don't think there is a defense possible. So thankfully, we're morphing in those creep colonies. Marines, they arrive, but they arrive. They might arrive in time to focus on one of these colonies before they do finish. Yep, does focus on 1. Trades with the Lings. Trades with the mutas as well, but the colonies, they will finish. And I believe, yep, Serral holds. So he does hold on the colonies. They do finish up in time. Whew. Euthermal still trades very well, though. Trades incredibly well. Oh, ooh, catching at 1 muta. Gets 2. 1, 2 mutas go down. A very nice pickup here by Euthermal. And again, Serral is struggling. He is struggling here, and we can see Serral, he's switching out of Muta into Hydra. So switching into Hydras, into Hydra Tech, into Lurker Tech, I would imagine. Mutas, they're supposed to gain map control, they're supposed to harass, they're supposed to keep the Terran army busy. That is not happening. That is not happening this game. We have more Marines on the way. And again, without earlier splash damage, without earlier lurkers, and without map control with the mutas, Mass Marine will excel. Remember, there's no Banelings. There's no Banelings, there's no Fungal. There's no Robust Roach Ravager. Lurker tech is on the way. We need those lurkers. So he has to buy time. He has to buy time for the lurkers. Ideally, he wants to bait a stim. We have more colonies on the way. Medevacs are coming in. So Euthermal's going to wait for the medevacs. This is giving time for extra colonies. Yeah, it's giving time. So we're going for Ninja Base. It looks like we now have 5 colonies. Now with 5 colonies, I don't know if Euthermal has enough anymore. I think it's taken too long. Yeah, reinforcements are getting caught out. Finally, a good trade here with the mutas, catching up 2 Widow Mines and Marines. Yeah, Euthermal, he was inattentive. Late to react. Marines, they stem in. He gets 1, he gets 2. And he gets 3. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. And in the end, were the lurkers. They're not ready. Lurkers are not ready in time. Just barely not. Lurker aspect finishing up in 5 seconds, but too late. And with that, the Marines, they stutter step in. They stim. And they win. They stim and they win here as Euthermal. He will break through. He'll break through Serral. Cleans up all the Hydras. Cleans up all the Lings. Army's a little bit over stim, but the mutas, they still cannot engage. Not head on. Not like this. As this is very quickly critical damage. Oh my god, the target firing. Yeah, target firing of the mutas. Overstim of the Marines. Still trades well. And with that, Serral, he's barely... Yeah, he got the reinforcements. GG. GG gets called. And Euthermal, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Euthermal, he will claim a lead in the series. Will claim a lead. He will take game number 1 here. Once again, Serral showing some of that inexperience in StarCraft Evolution. He looked good in the ZVZs, but here, again, he did struggle in the early game. The first couple of Reapers did kind of set the pace and set the tone for the game itself. Then we had the follow-up, of course, 2-base all-in with Mass Marine. Serral trying to... I mean, again, he was punished early on for the lack of defense, and likewise, he was punished for going into mutas as well. The 2-base Spire, 2-base muta play, really 1-base play, was a bold move out of Serral, but again, he did not really get the ball rolling. It's heavily reliant on gaining momentum, gaining control, having a clean early game, and containing the Terran. Failed to do all of that. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting the end of 2. Going to be getting ready for our next matchup. It's going to be a ZVZ between between Reynor and Blask. Okay, so the turns are tabling here. Now Basilisk can play SC2. Now Team Red, White, and Blue, they continue to play, or now they play Brood War. Let's go. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Blackrock, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. Just fixing up the nameplate. There we go. The blue Zerg player himself from Croatia, representing Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Blask. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. We have the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. The SC2 Zerg player, it is Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. And again, so far, a strong start for Team Red, White, and Blue. Euthermal leading the charge, taking down Serral, the best Zerg player in StarCraft. The best player, sorry, in StarCraft, period. And we'll see if the rest of Euthermal's team can keep up. Blask, alongside Vaeda, alongside Goblin, they're going to be they got to step up here to bring down Basilisk. And once again, Reynor is also even less experienced than Serral in StarCraft Evolution, but he's playing SC2, right? He's playing SC2 Zerg, so Reynor has that advantage. Blask, I would say, is much more experienced in StarCraft Evolution. That is true, but I feel like it's going to be on Blask to try to use that knowledge to his advantage and try to catch Reynor with his pants down. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can. I'm sure Reynor was watching the Serral ZVZs with the heavy lurker play and the heavy drop play, so I'm sure Reynor's aware of the potential of that kind of style. We'll see if Blask embraces that or if he goes into muta play instead. So here we go. Blast those move out. Check the natural. Likewise, Micro Hatchery here out of Blask. And so far, I mean, nothing crazy when it comes to the openers here. Welcome to Blackrock, a 2-player spawn map. We do have open bases, but this is less applicable here to ZVZ, where everything is open anyway. And Blask is rushing into a lair, so it's looking like Mutas. It looks like we're rushing into the spire, rushing into Muta play. We'll see if Reynor can determine what's going on, and we'll see if Reynor can punish. As we're going double Macro Hatch here to wall off, okay? Macro Hatch is being thrown down. Reynor, he does still have 2 in gas, of course, claiming his 3rd base. And Reynor has some options. He can either go for a Roach base all in to shut this down, or go into his own anti-air setup. I will say that coming into this so far, like Reynor, he, I mean, is determining that it is going to be 3-base heavy play. Sorry, 2-base heavy play, I'm going to say. But has yet to really piece together what's going on. Ah, fast Roach one. There it is, Roach all in. Okay, so he's going for the Roach all in. I do like this for Reynor. Obviously, it's a little bit risky if the site defense of the colonies, if Blast can realize an all in is coming ahead of time, then you can throw down a wall of like 5 colonies to buy time for the mutas. And I'm getting ahead of myself, actually. My apologies. I'm assuming muta, it's 2-base lurker. Oh. Is this a hard counter? Is this how this turns out? If Reynor goes for a big 2-base all-in, hits his base, fails to kill, and then lurkers arrive and just shut down the ground push, like Blask, can he do this? He's basically he's faking Muta play. He's faking Spire. Reynor 100% believes this is Muta, and he's coming. Reynor's going for the all-in. I don't know if lurkers are going to be ready though. Like that's the thing. A lurker's going to be ready in time because the riches are coming. It's going to be close. Yeah, Reynor, he sees the wall of colonies. Here comes the all-in. Yeah, here comes the all-in. Reynor's moving out. Meanwhile, Blasky just droned. That's crazy. There we go. He now realizes. Oh, no! Oh, my God. Does wall off in time. Hydras are now revealed. Reynor, I don't think he saw the Hydras yet. Lurker tech is more than halfway done. Again, Blasky needs a little bit more time. A little bit more. And Reynor, now he drones. Yeah, now he drones up. Reynor, looks like he has realized what's going on. As he's now starting to drone. Roaches have arrived, going for the hatchery. And it looks like Blasky will survive this, but now it's all about the counterattack. And now it's about Blask, when he does defend this, like, can he break out across the map? Can he punish Reynor with the higher tech of lurkers? Or does the game just continue? Yeah, again, the Hydra was revealed. Reynor, he's droning. He knows he cannot kill. Oh, careful. Yeah, leaves him for this round. Ooh, catching out one Hydra. Here comes the lurker. Yeah, lurker's now on the way, but so far Reynor doing a great job here, just picking up the macro hatcheries, droning up, and building up Roach Ravager. Again, that is an ultimate answer here, solution to the lurkers. We can bile that. Oh no! Yeah, Blast gets punished. Yeah, massive punish here. Hydras, they overextend. 1, 2, 3, 4 Hydras going down. Both macro hatcheries as well. Heavy losses here for Blask. And now Blask is down to just a handful of units contained on 2 bases. And Reynor can freely drone up completely on a 3-base economy. Lair is now on the way as well. I should fix up the title. My apologies. Zero loaders hunted down. Blasty supply blocked. Lankers are waddling in. Let's move out. And Blast is basically all in himself now. He's 2-base all in, is just too far behind to try to get a 3rd base and drone up. Blast is down to 32 workers. I just don't think there are going to be enough lurkers. I don't think there's enough pushing power here. Not against the amount of Ravagers that Reynor should have. Lusky moves out. Waddling in. Trying to at least... Oof. Catching out one of the Ravagers. Does get one. Roger had to move in and catching out one of the Lurkers. Yeah, one. Oh, two Lurkers going to be going down. And with that Reynor, he breaks through. Yeah, he breaks through. There's just not enough here. Sure, there's some Lurkers, and I mean, they do actually trade well. They trade well for themselves, but remember, Blastu's all in. Like, trading is not good enough. We got to keep going. We got to break a base. We got to break an expansion. We're down to 2 Lunkers. Blasto's water forward. Setting up. Oh. Setting up. Lurkers pushing forward. Reynor going to be collapsing in. And again, he has plenty to work with here. Takes down the first 2 Lurkers. There's, what, 3 Lurkers left? We're down to 3. Sorry, down to 4. down to 3. Again, Reynor, he's freely mining on 3 bases, building a more Roach Ravager. Due to the Biles, like, the Lurkers can't really push further in. Like, Biles, they just turn them away. They're a way to deal with that said Siege Race units. This is unfortunate. No! Yeah, Reynor catching out 3 more Lunkers. And catching out 3 more. Brings down 1, 2, 3. Trying to make use of the tall grass. Trying to. I mean, I appreciate. A couple Lings do try to slip by. And again, Blast, he hasn't made a drone in quite some time. You can see here he's got 5 workers as natural. He hasn't lost any workers, he just hasn't been droning, right? Again, emphasis. It's been an all-in the entire time. There's no longevity here for Blask. And here comes Reynor. Moves that across the map, denies a 3rd. Moving further in. Okay, we have those 3 Lurkers. Trying to push into this line of sunken colonies is going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. So we try to focus on there. We try to focus on the Lurker. The Cocoon. Still just 3. Yeah, still 3 Lunkers. Oh, that's a good to cancel. Blasky does try to counterattack. Setting up in the center, actually. Okay. He's doing what he can. The copium is real, badly. That's Reynor. He will get supply block, but I mean, he's almost maxed. He's almost maxed at this point. Once again, does bypass the main army, catching out 2 more Lurkers. Trying to at least. Ooh. And barely does. It barely does catch him out. A bit of a shaky trade here. Lurkers are trying to blur. Biles, they do connect. Oh my god, catching out another Lurker. Down to 2. Sorry, down to 3. 3 Lunkers back. And GG. GG gets called. Reynor, he ties up the series 1-1. We have a back and forth. GG. GG, well played. Interesting build here by Blask. I do appreciate the idea behind it. So one impact for those that weren't here for the beginning. Blask went for 2-base lair. 2-base lair, I assumed it was 2-base muta. Reynor assumed it was 2-base muta as well. We just all assumed it was going to be 2-base muta. In the end, it was 2-base lurker, which depending on the setup there, I thought that maybe we could then shut down the all-in. But the issue is that Reynor, he pivoted away from the all-in. Initially, Reynor, he went for a big Ling Roach Ravager all-in. Then when he realized that he could not break that position and he couldn't break the lurkers, he just droned. He just droned up behind it and built up a superior economy, and with that he was just able to outscale Blask, as Blask, he was bleeding out hatcheries, bleeding out even a couple of hydras as well. They were getting quartz, and Reynor was able to just macro out of it and outscale Blask over time. GG. GG, well played. Suddenly Blask, he was one of those forced into an all-in instead, and now we have our back and forth series. Now who will take a lead in this series? Up next, we're going to be loading into Fighting Spirit. Going to be loading into a PvP between Trigger and Goblin. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be loading on in. Going to be loading into our matchup here. Un momento. I recall. Yeah. I think there was a match that was played ahead of time. Go. As we are spawning in the top left-hand corner of Fighting Spirits, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger, the Brood War Protoss. And spawning in the bottom-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Protoss player representing Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Goblin. He be red, he be white, he be blue, pappy. Ah, the freedom. He's here. That's what I think of when I think of Euthermal and Goblin. And Vader. And Blask. Not wrong, not wrong. There you go. Here we go. We're going to be opening up, and from here we are going to be settling into our PvP matchup. Now, when it comes to PvP, proxies and all-ins are quite prevalent. Not saying that we have to see that, but it's definitely an option here for our two players as we're going for vertical scouts, vertical spawns, and we find each other here. Okay, so again, this is a 4-player spawn map on Fighting Spirits, but we do have close spawn locations. Aggression is going to be much more favored here as a result. Much more favored. I think the Fighter is good versus Arch Ravager. None of that is applicable because remember, it was a 2-base all-in, if not a 1-base all-in. Remember, there were only 5 drones at the natural, so trying to think about like further compositions were not applicable in that last game because it was an all-in, right? It was an all-in. There were only 5 workers at the natural base. It was 33, right? 33 drone kills, 33 drones in total. It was like just over 1 base saturation. There we go. Here we go. We're going to be building up. Now, when it comes to our PvP here, when it comes to common compositions, we do often see a heavy robo play from both players. We're talking Disruptor versus Reaver tech. That's only if we get into the mid-game. But I will say that Goblin has been cooking with some interesting builds, and he does go for a greedier opener. Okay. Not a 2-gate. Going gate, cyber, expand. So a greedier start here from Goblin. Trigger, likewise, doing something very similar as well. It makes sense based on the fact that we have loaded into a 4-player spawn map. So both players delay their second gateways to the point where even Goblin cuts corners going for a much earlier council before second gateway. So very greedy build here by Goblin. I would say like borderline, like again, illegally greedy build here from our Blue Protoss player, and Trigger wants to punish. Here we go, proxy pylon into proxy gateway. At Trigger, he's going to commit. Trigger is going to be committing across the map here, so hyper aggression with Mass Dragoons. Remember, there's no warping mechanics, so the gateway is just to reinforce, just to hammer that home, and we'll soon be rushing across the map. Let's go. It's soon time to commit. Meanwhile, defensively, what do we have to defend? Thankfully, we have 1 blind battery, 1 blind shield battery. Blink will be done earlier than normal because of the greed of this build, but only one gateway. Because there's only one gateway, Goblin, he has very limited production right now. He's warping in one Stalker at a time. This might just be game. It's a 2-base 4-gate all-in. 2-base 4-gate all-in, so Master Dragoon will overwhelm Goblin. Goblin is in trouble. He is in trouble here. He just hasn't really seen what's going on. He has not scouted. He's not aware of the proxy. Not aware of the proxy, not aware of the lack of tech. He is not aware. Matchup seems input to me. Sounds like you need to watch some more StarCraft, Pappy. True, true. Yes, here come all the Dragoons. Again, Goblin is going to be in trouble. He needs time for all these gateways to get up. We need time for the gateways. Blink is going to be done very quickly. Remember that. So over the course of this all-in, Blink is going to kick in, and we'll see if the gateways kick in as well, as they're just now morphing in. We need time. We need those gates. Yeah, gateways are coming online. Goblin needs a couple more seconds. Warps in the Stalkers. Whew. And Trigger, he deviates. Oh, Proxy Robo. That's gonna take too long. This is gonna take too long here. And now the greed of Goblin to rush into early Blink. Now this is gonna it's gonna kick in. It's gonna kick in very hard. So it looks like Trigger wants to go Proxy Robo into Proxy Bay into Proxy Reavers, but it's gonna take so long to kick in. Like, not like this. Yeah, catching out 1, 2, 3 Dragoons. Dragoons are trying to break their way through. The battery's out of energy. But again, some rough losses here when it comes to the Dragoons. Losing far too many. Yeah, losing too many here. Goblin is holding. Goblin is holding on. Again, remember, Blink should not be done by now, but it is just because of the greed of Goblin of cutting corners, staying on one game for so long. And Goblin, he got away with the greed. He got away with the greed. And with that, we'll break through. This robot never came into play. Never came into play. And we find the proxy, and it's going to be shut down. It's going to be shut down completely here. Cleaning up the Dragoons. And again, Trigger, he gambled it all here, going for the proxy. Again, going for the robot was crazy. Very ambitious, trying to go for the robot as well. Everything will and should be depowered. Cleaning up all the pylons. And GG. GG gets called. Goblin, he'll take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that. Goblin, again, winding it back here. Goblin went for a very greedy build, going for insanely fast Blink and delaying his gateways. I thought against an all-in that it would be too greedy, but as we saw, Trigger, he did hit too late. He hit too late. By the time he hit, he actually hit just as the gateways were coming online. It was very, very well timed there for Goblin to be able to finish up those gateways just as the all-in was hitting, and with that, he was able to muster up his army, pull off that defense, and snowball that control from there with the power of, again, early Blink. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations. Goblin, who'll take a 2-0 advantage here for Team Red, White, and Blue. And now we're getting ready for our next matchup. We're going to be jumping into a ZVZ. Going to be loading into what next? Serral versus Blask. Oh boy. And this is where the pressure is going to be on Blask, because Serral, he has some insane ZVZ here in StarCraft Evolution. He showed that off. If you missed it, I do highly recommend the VODs from last week, as Serral did take down both Solar and Shin with Brood War Zerg. We'll see how he does handle himself though, as it's going to be Blast now playing Brood War Zerg, Serral playing SC2 Zerg. We'll see. We'll see if Team Red, White, and Blue can close it out here and now, or if we force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching up with the chat. Haven't played Brood War. Dragoons just like Brood War Stalkers. Is that kind of what they are? The Dragoon is kind of like a cross between a Stalker and an Immortal in a sense. Dragoons are they're tankier. They're less mobile. Easy to force field them away. Kind of like again, like Stalker Sentry play isn't really very common in StarCraft Evolution. As we were saying previously, if you're talking about mid game play, it's typically more like robo heavy play from both sides. If you haven't watched much of it. But here we go. We're getting to our next matchup, and oh my god, we're going gas first. Okay, Serral's gonna cheese it up, as in the bottom left hand corner we have the SE2 Zerg player. We have the... Oh, for Basilisk, down in the series, by the way. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. Going for the gas first. Hyper Greed, Hyper Aggression. We're going to cheese it up. It is Serral. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Croatian Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg representing Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Blask. Hatch first. Hatch, gas pool, standard opener out of Blask. Meanwhile, gas first out of Serral. With gas first, this leads into a fast link flood, so early link speed. And if we stay in gas, this can lead, Bane Bust. So it's going to be a link flood into a Bane Bust. Serral's going for an all-in, and Blask it's going to be a tough hold. Not impossible, but based on the builds here, Serral does have the advantage. Serral was hoping for a hatch first, and it is a hatch first. It comes down to the unit control here of Blask. He has to be very careful not to lose too many workers early on. He has to buy time for his own link production. So here comes Serral. So the way this works here is, that again, Blask, I don't think it's worth trying to protect the low ground expand. We'll see if Serral does try to bait him down. He should be trying to bait him, because here comes the Bane Bust. So ideally, Serral, he wants to show these Lings, nibble away at the low ground, force Blask to pull the boys, and then bam, surprise him with Banelings. As Blask ideally wants to fight for the low ground. Lings, they move in. They will surround the first colony. Boys are being pulled. So Serral, he does bait him down. And now it's time to dance with the army. Banelings are now morphing in. We have 2 Banelings on the way. Denies one of the colonies. And the Banelings are coming. And can Serral connect? The first colonies on the way. Oh no, the boys! The boys, get out of here. Yeah, the boys almost get pulled in. We don't want to waste those Banelings. And so far, we're just zoning. Yeah, we're zoning away those Lings. Ensuring there is no surrounds, which means that first colony gets surrounded. Yeah, it's going to be shut down. And again, these Banelings ensure that drones, they cannot be pulled. They cannot be pulled. There's a cancellation. Boys, they cannot engage. And with that, Serral's done it. So he has done it. Ooh, first big connection. Cleans up everything here at the natural. 9 drone kills. GG gets called. And Serral, he will tab the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, so the way this works here is that Serral, he revealed early Lings. He revealed what looks to be almost like a 12 pool or a pool first, when really it was a commitment into link speed and Banelings. Blask, of course, didn't know that, so that's why he did come down to low ground. He was trying to pull off that low ground defense, and then bam, suddenly Banelings come into the mix, link speed comes into the mix as well, and it becomes a much more chaotic defense there. If that first colony had finished, if Blask were able to pull the boys earlier and finish that first colony, then a different story. The other case scenario, of course, is if Blask realized how committed Serral was, then he could try to pull off a main base defense instead and have his side defense finish in the main and then defend, and then the game continues from there. But again, Blask was working with very incomplete formation, and with that, Serral does tie things up, and now we're going to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into the ace match. So when it comes into this, I heard the intern has been hired for a sacred illusion. Cap. It'd be funny if they moved to 6. They wouldn't. So for those that are unaware, the StarCraft Evolution team, they did actually do a bunch of testing with lower worker counts. I think they tested with 6, and I think they also tested with 4 maybe as well. But they found that it just wasn't really viable, or I should say that it would be a lot of work to make it work. Just because of the SE2 macro mechanics, trying to balance out Brood War workers and the Brood War economy against the SE2 economy with a low worker counts would just prove to be too difficult. So they're like, yeah, no. It's proved to be too difficult. But here we go with that GG. GG well played. With that, we are now getting ready for the ace match. We're tied up 2-2 here, and we'll see who gets fielded in that final game. Now, coming into this, as you can see, we've had a back and forth so far between Serral, Thermal, Reynor, Blask, Trigger, Goblin. Now, the way this format works here is that both teams will field one ace player, but the player that already played twice cannot be fielded. So, for example, Serral cannot be fielded as the ace player. He was already used twice. Likewise, Blask cannot be fielded as the ace player. He was already used twice. So from Basilisk, they have to pick either Reynor or Trigger. From Team Red, White, and Blue, they have to pick either Euthermal or Goblin, or Vaeda. True, Vaeda is also in the mix as well. Now, this is where mind games come to play, and you can try to snipe your opponent, and you can try to assume a certain matchup and try to field a player that excels at a certain matchup. Another factor here, of course, is it is a coin flip to determine which team gets to play SC2 and which team gets to play Brood War. That's also another factor as well. As so far, only the SC2 teams have won. Euthermal won with SC2 Terran, Reynor won with SC2 Zerg, Goblin won with SC2 Protoss, and Serral won with SC2 Zerg as well. So far, Brood War are 0-4. And so that can also be a factor as well, just because of like the experience of players and how familiar they are with the Brood War side of things. Coming into this, from my understanding, I believe Trigger has more experience in StarCraft Evolution than Reynor, so they might field Trigger as the ace match if it's SC, if they have to play Brood War, right? If they have to play Brood War. But so far, the coin has been flipped. Ooh, okay, so we have flipped the coin. It is going to be Basilisk. They play Brood War, and Team Red, White, and Blue, they play SC2. Okay. So we have flipped our coin. And we have our starting players. Okay. So we have our starting players here. It is going to be Reynor. Reynor coming out as the Brood War Zerg, and Euthermal coming out as the SC2 Terran. But bold move to field Reynor here. Maybe he's feeling a little bit more confident against Terran, more so than Trigger. We'll see. We shall see. Again, I don't think I've actually seen Reynor play Brood War Zerg before, so I don't know what to expect. We'll see if he can fare better than Serral here. We'll see. Here we go. You gotta send Serral again? No. Again, when it comes to the rule sets, players that have already been fielded twice cannot be fielded again, so they cannot reuse Serral. He's not the ace for Basilisk. Instead, it is going to be Reynor. As spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Fear and Faith, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Euthermal. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player for Basilisk. It is Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be opening up. We're going to be settling in. And welcome to Fear and Faith. Fear and Faith is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, bottom left, and top left as well. So 4 possible spawn locations. On top of that, we do have our monorail system, of course, to scatter each other a little bit faster, to reduce some of that RNG. And because it's StarCraft Evolution, they both know, or at least Euthermal knows that Reynor's not bottom left, and Reynor knows that Euthermal's not bottom right either. So we've ruled out some of the possibilities. Oh my god, gas first? Let's go. Gas first out of Reynor. Gas into pool into a delayed hatchery here. So early Ling speed into an early lair. Are we going one base lair, or are we going for a Ling flood? Okay, curious. I don't know how wide the breadth of play Reynor has, how wide it is in Brood War. Like again, like in StarCraft Evolution. Like again, Reynor, he's I would say one of the more inexperienced players. So yeah, show us what you got. Is it going to be for the lair or just Ling speed? Are we Ling flooding or not? Now the first Overlord does scout bottom right, so Reynor's looking for his opponent. Second Overlord stays outside of the natural. Meanwhile, it is going to be, greed out of Euthermal, going Rax first. Sorry, going Rax into CC, but he will skip the Reaper. Skips the Reaper, skips the Marine, going Reactor first instead. Okay. Meanwhile, Ling speed is on the way, and do you see what I see? Continued gas. Continued gas mining here. So with that, and the SCV Scout does confirm the Ling speed as he sees it researching, and also confirms the gas income as well. This looks like fast lair. So fast Ling speed into fast lair, but with 2 hatcheries, it looks like we're not going for an all-in. It looks like this just looks like really inefficient, hyper safe play. When I say hyper safe, if Euthermal is going for like a proxy, or a one base all in, then this would almost hard counter that. But Euthermal expanded, and Euthermal's building up in towards the early game. So when it comes to our openers here, Reynor, he's at a deficit. Basically, these early lings and the early ling speed is a waste. It's not really achieving anything here, and it won't achieve anything. So a bit of a unfortunate start here for Reynor. As now he's going into the Hydra Den. So there's no fast 2-base lair. It's going to be 2-base Hydra, which is a lot more standard. Reynor still searching for his opponents. Looks like, again, Reynor should have known that Euthermal was not bottom left because of the early pings, but Reynor might not be aware of said early pings. Lair is on the way. So it looks like we're rushing into lurker tech. Rushing lunkers. Now, we've been here before. Who hits first? As Euthermal is going for a heavy stim timing here, so stim is going to be on the horizon. We'll see if Euthermal throws down a 4th Rax and goes for a 4 Rax 2-base all-in, which is what Euthermal did against Serral earlier. I will say that the potential for lurkers being faster does allow for a stronger defense if Reynor can get there. And it's not going to be a 4 Rax, it's going to be a 3 Rax stim into a factory, into Starport, into a longer game. Okay. Going for a longer game. So there we go. Euthermal, he's moving out. Remember, he's moving out pre-medevac, so he has to be very careful with how and when he stims, but it is a very hefty army here. And pure Ling Hydra will struggle to defend against this. As Reynor, he will now see it. There we go. Now he starts to move out. Reynor's aware. Gonna try to meet the army. Reynor setting up the concave. Splitting off his Hydras. Uh-oh. Does split off. Euthermal stims in. No colony. Yeah, no colony to defend. We're coming in with this round. Tries to at least, and Hydras are going to fall. Yeah, the boys are being pulled here. Some heavy losses for Reynor. Ay, ay, ay. Losing Hydras, losing drones, and this is getting out of hand. It's becoming too much. It's becoming far too much here. We start to step in. We focus on every single Hydra list. We're down to 1, down to 0 Hydras, and with that, a team red, white, and blue. The freedom, baby. There's too much freedom here in the natural. Yeah, it takes down 22 drones. The 2-base lair didn't come into play. 2-base lurkers didn't come into play either. The army is oversimmed, but again, this is game-ending damage. Game-ending damage. GG gets called, and Euthermal, he will claim the series at 3-2 for his team, red, white, and blue. GG. Whew. And GG, well played, Euthermal, who will claim Euthermal, Goblin, Blast. They will claim the series here for team red, white, and blue. Again, it's just too much freedom in the team back. That's what I think of when I think of Netherlands and Croatia. True. As they will claim the series. Again, Reynor, he did try I mean, when it came to the early game, Reynor, he was assuming that that Euthermal was going to be more aggressive. That assumption didn't really come to fruition here. So the early gas, the early link production didn't really lead to too much, unfortunately. Likewise, so the follow-up trying to go into 2-base lair, 2-base lurkers, but again, had no side defense ready. It was a late scout of the all-in that was coming. I say all-in, I shouldn't go that far. It was a late scout of the push that was coming, and Reynor, he had no side defense ready. Once again, typically colony side defense are quite crucial when it comes to defending against early game pushes, but again, we did kind of notice that Reynor, like he came in with a little bit less experience with StarCraft Evolution, with Brood War, and with that Euthermal did excel. GG, well played. With that, team red, white, and blue, they will make it through again. SE2 coming on top in every game. But which is what we expect when it comes to like more inexperienced teams, is just relying on your SE2 skill instead of your Brood War skill. But GG. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be going on a short break. Here. When we come back, we'll have our next matchup. Team Red, White, and Blue. They're staying on. They're going to be facing off against Team CRHB, arguably the best team in the league. Who is Team CRHB? That is classic herO, Solar, and Shin. It's a hefty team, papi. So, oh boy, best of luck. We'll be back soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the CranKy Season 4 Group Stage, Group B, Week number 2. Again, we just wrapped up our first series of the broadcast, our first best of 5 between Basilisk and Team Red, White, and Blue. And hey, yo, the Freedom Boys, Team Red, White, and Blue, they take down Basilisk 3-2 to claim the series. But now they're up against the best team in the league, or at least in my perspective, in my opinion, the best team in the league. They're up against Team CRHB. Oh boy, this is a team that has been constructed and pulled together for the purposes of this league. Who exactly is it and what does it stand for? Well, C is for Classic, R is for Solar. For those who don't know, Solar, he has a Korean nickname. The Korean fan base, they call him a rock. More often than not, just because sometimes his brain turns into a rock and he just apes it up. It's very fitting when it comes to Solar. H is herO and B is Byum for Shin, He Byum for Shin. So Shin, that is also his initial, his name. So again, we do have our 4 players here for CRHB. That is going to be Solar, herO, Shin, and Solar going up against Red, White, and Blue. Let's go. Let us go, as we are going to be hopping on over and catching up with our lineups here. So the lineups have been submitted, and for game 1, it's going to be herO versus Blask. herO, of course, playing SC2 Protoss, Blask playing StarCraft 1 Zerg. Meanwhile, we then have Shin versus Goblin, another ZVP, with the roles being reversed. Shin playing Brood War and Goblin playing SC2. We then have Classic versus Uwu Thermal in a PvT. Oh, again, that's going to be a big challenge for Thermal. Thermal did well in the Basilisk series, but he was going up against more inexperienced players. Classic is the best Protoss player in StarCraft Evolution, if not straight up the best Protoss in the world in StarCraft Evo. Sorry, it's not the best Protoss in the world. The best player in the world in StarCraft Evolution. True. Like Classic, he's arguably the best player. Then we have Solar up against Goblin in that final 4th match before a potential ace match. Let's go. Let us go. So again, the opponents get harder and harder here for Team Red, White, and Blue. Let's jump into game 1 on Fear and Faith. Let's go. Let us go. As we are loading into game number 1. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Fear and Faith, we have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the StarCraft 1 Zerg representing Team Red, White, and Blue from the land of Croatia. It is Blask. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss for Team CRHB. What's the H in CRHB? It is herO. Let's go. Just facing out the player names. There we go. Here we go. We have our ZVP. We have our first game of the best of 5. And welcome to Fear and Faith. We do have close spawns. Close spawns. herO does find Blask immediately. So close spawn locations. Blask also should be aware of the herO spawn. Yep, should be aware. Because of the fast scout and due to the fact that Blask knows that herO is not top left. With this, we're going to be opening up hatch first, and we'll see what Blask does bring to the table here. Again, we haven't really been seeing much of Blask's ZVP. I know that he's been devoting a lot more time to StarCraft Evolution. Ooh, nice surround on the probe. Okay. Surround does lock down that first worker, and nice pick off here out of Blask. But I do know that Blask has been devoting a lot of time to StarCraft Evolution as of late, but I haven't been able to cover many of his games. I know that I believe he was playing in the Ladder Invitational, maybe in SEL Masters, the most recent one as well. I'm a little bit uncertain as of that. Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to quite cover those matches, so I don't necessarily know the level of play that Blask is at the moment. We'll see how we can compare to herO, who's the best Protoss in SC2. Oh boy. So there is no more difficult opponent than herO. As for now, we're going to be opening up. For now, we do have our hatch gas pool into macro hatchery, nothing crazy out of Blast. Likewise, here we're going to be opening up as well, just standard openers all around. No crazy tech yet, no early gases, nothing of the sort. Nice to 007 in the chat. Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. Bearing in mind as well that we do have 3 series tonight in total, of course. 3 series, 3 matches. First one's in the books. We're here in Series 2. Oh, as we're going to be opening up with the faster Hydra Den. So from here, Blast can skip link speed. We can skip link speed. We just go 2-base Hydra into 2-base Lair into 2-base Lurker. Is kind of the setup that we're looking towards. Meanwhile, fast Twilight Council out of herO. Ooh, a much more aggressive build here. Uh-oh. So here, opening up Twilight Council with this, we can go into early Blink, early Charge, early Glaives, pick your poison. Adept does confirm the Hydra tech here out of Blast, confirming that it's not going to be Spire. As I believe that's a full wall. Jesus. That's fully walled off. Adept's looking for a way in. And the full wall does complete. Yeah, it does complete. Meanwhile, there's that fast lair. That's going to be 310 lair timing. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, very fast lair. It's on the way. And eventually, Blast, once he builds up on 2 bases, he will break out by killing his own colony. Kill the colony. From fans, oh, let's go. Bienvenidos. Hope it's not too late. I think we're just now entering around like the 1 a.m.-ish time in Europe. 1 a.m., 2 a.m.-ish. Around then. So, hope you've been having a good week. Hope you enjoy your weekend as well. Hope you're taking care. So again, we are setting up. Lair is about to finish. With the fast lair, we can go straight into Lurker Tech. Meanwhile, it's going to be, oh, not Blink. My assumption was it was going to be a Blink-based opener. Early Charge out of herO. Interesting choice. Going into early charge into a Stargate. Now, with early charge, this is going to be ideal against a Ling Hydra heavy composition, but against Lurkers, Zealots are going to have a bit of a harder time. The Oracle does poke in, gets a full scout, confirming the lack of Spire, confirming the early lair, and should be aware that Lurker Tech is coming. As Hydras are breaking out. Is this the final? No. This is the second series of the broadcast. There's still one more series after this. It's a Team League. Team League event. This is merely game 1. Game 1 of our best of 5. 3 a.m. Pappy. Hi. Take care, Pappy. Take care. As Blast does look to me in. Here, the charge is going to be able to get on top of some of these Hydras though. Yeah, 1, 2 Hydras going to be going down. Nice pickoffs. Catching a 3rd Hydra. Depth shade into the main base and is already getting a hand. Yeah, it's getting out of hand. Lurker Tech, they're not really coming into play. Boys are being pulled. Drone's going to be going down. And again, I wasn't really believing in this early Zealot timing. I wasn't sure that Zealots could actually break through, but they just walk in. They would we just walk into the bases. And Hydra's just getting picked off here. Heavy losses for Blast. Before we can really embrace the Lurker Tech, it's just all crumbling. It's all crumbling already. Catching out another Hydralisk. Yeah, another Hydra goes down. Oracle into the main. GG gets called. herO overwhelms. And herO takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played, herO. He will take a lead for Team CRHB. Again, just hyper aggression out of here. I assume that Blast was going to be able to turtle up on 2 bases and then break out. He turtle up on 2 bases, he opened the front door, and then Zealous just flooded in. Zealous just flooded in the front door, was unable to really embrace the purpose of the build that Blast went for, which was 2-base Lurker. Never got there. Never did get there in the end. GG well played. herO does kick things off with a lead for his team, and we'll see if CRHB continue that run. As the pressure is now on Shin. The turns have now tabled here, so Shin is coming up next as the player for Team CRHB. So herO tags out, Shin tags in. Meanwhile, Goblin also does rise to the challenge, whipping out SC2 Protoss. Let's go. Let us go. Blast got drunk, am I? Yeah, Blast, he came back. He was retired for a very, very long time. He came back like maybe 3 months ago? 3 months? Around 3 months ago, Blast came back. It was really cool to see. It was really cool. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Polypoid. We have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing team CRHB. He puts the B in CRHB. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Croatian Protoss player, the blue Protoss team, red, white, and blue. It is Goblin. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game number 2 here. And again, we'll see if Goblin can start the comeback here for Team Red, White, and Blue. For now, I will say that the spawn locations do favor mid-game play. It is going to be cross spawns here on Polopoid. We have top left for Goblin, bottom right for Shin. It is a 4-player spawn map. We do have long and cross spawns. This will allow for potentially some longer games, some longer mid to late game, potentially. It also means that if Shin wanted to, the idea of going into muta play is there. Like, Spire into muta play is going to be a little bit more viable, a little bit safer to embrace, I should say. Is going to be a little bit safer. Let's go. So now Shin just going for his own hatch gas pool, standard opener to Shin, and likewise Goblin does find Shin. Shin, he scouts up right. He scouts up right with the first Overlord. He's going for the cross scout as well, so Shin will eventually find Goblin. But again, so far all the openers are looking standard. The real question is, does Shin go into Hydra Lurker or does he go into Spire? Where are we dropping? It's news to me, but I had a brain meltdown. I mean, it's only if you watch StarCraft Evolution. Again, Blask, he returned a couple of months ago only for SC Evo. He does not compete in StarCraft 2. So it's only if you've been keeping up with the SC Evo scene. Otherwise, Twilight Council here out of Goblin, going Twilight Council as an opener here. We did see herO excel with the early charge, but I'm still leaning towards Blink here from Goblin. Leaning towards Blink. Meanwhile, the lair has begun. We start the lair, we take our gases. So far, there's no Hydrogen. We have gone for the Evo chamber first on the low ground. It looks like mutas. I'm leaning towards muta play. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Never mind. I was leaning towards mutas, but there we go. It is going to be the Hydra Den. So we're going into Hydras. We're going into what looks to be a lurker-based composition. Meanwhile, once again, early charge here by Goblin. Still building up. Building ourselves up. So we're just going for everything, okay? So originally I thought it was going to be muta play because it was a late Hydrogen, but we are going Hydra. Then we go for a later Spire as well. So why not everything here? Just throwing out all of the tech from Shin. Meanwhile, Goblin, he is likewise taking up in a much more standard direction. We're going to be opening charge, true, but following up by Archon and Storm. So Temple Archives in a Storm into Archon tech. So charge our Archon Storm out of Goblin. And so far, I believe the Hallucination might have seen the Spire. No, Hallucination failed to scout in the main. Ay, ay, ay. So Goblin is in the dark, is not aware. Shin, he's not breaking out. It's breaking up from the contain. Muta production has begun. Did we even make any Hydras here? The answer is no. So I believe we still did get some Hydra upgrades. Yeah, Hydra upgrades were still invested into, but no Hydras yet. Going into the Mutas. Lings are sent to engage. No link speed yet. Yeah, no link speed. Lings get punished. Shin does pull away. Goblin going for ninja expansion. Let's go. Let's go for the ninja base. Storm was not resourced, so Goblin, he's committing here with Zealot Archon. So charge Archon at a Goblin. He might overwhelm all these. There's not enough Archons, only one. If we had 2-3 Archons, then sure, I could see this working. With only one Archon though, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be difficult. Goblin moves in. Mutas they get across the map. There's one defensive Archon. And there's a cancellation. And that was a cancel. Mutas into the main. More probes falling. Goblin is committed. There's a recall back home. Ooh, he does choose to recall actually. And that's going to be 9 workers going down, losing up to 10. 10, 11, 12. 12 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. 12 workers falling. Shin breaking out. And hindering the economy. Now, I don't see Shin breaking into the natural, though. In my mind, Shin has to wait for the third base to be taken. Which has been taken, it's just Shin doesn't know. It may not matter. It may not matter here. 19 pro kills. That's insane damage already here from the Mutas. Now going for the sentry. Doesn't quite pick it off. As they move in. Oof. Yeah, losing another 2 Mutalisks. Does lose another 2. Jeez, that's a lot of lings. And what's crazy behind this, Shin is not making additional Mutalisks. He's already done. He's already done with Muta production, switching into Lurker Tech. So Lurker Den is now, or Lurker Tech is now finishing up. Getting to 1-1, into 2-1 upgrades. And Goblin, he can't really maintain himself here. Not like this. Shen, fun fact, he's looking for bases, looking for expansions. This does not check top right. Scourge production has begun. A couple of Scourge. Keeping tabs on the main army. Again, I will say that this like heavy Archon force that Goblin is building up is superior to the army of Shin, for sure, until Lurkers kick in. Right? The Lurker Tech is what I'm concerned by, and here we go, Lurkers are morphing in. The Lunkers are coming. Goblin commits. Base trade? No. Goblin moving through the center. There is an observer with the main army. Yeah, we have the observer. At the same time, Lings they flood in. The wall's wide open. Yeah, the walls of the wall. Lings they flood into the natural. They force a recall. Goblin recalls back home. 11 probes go down. Shin, I'm sure he's happy to trade. Happy to trade. They bust into the main base as well. Again, 11 probe kills, brutal damage. Oh. So we are setting up. Again, we have our line of lurkers. Goblin is forced into an all-in. Oh no. And he cannot push in, not into this field of lurkers, baby. Yay. Insane. It's an insane field of lurkers. Lings a backstab, they catch at the cyber core. Again, Goblin falling apart. Still at least has top right. Goblin tries to get it in. Once again, pushing into a siege. I mean, he has to, right? He has to push into a siege line at some point. Messy control here by Shin. Yeah, a little bit messy. But does take down the observers, denies the vision, denies scouting. Top right has been scouted. Now Shin knows. Now he knows, Pappy. I love the dynamic here as well. Like, we're making more Scourge. The purpose of the Scourge is to snipe the detection. Like, the observers. Kill the detection. And then Lurkers, they just survive. They just run away with it. Lings getting called out. Nice catch here by Goblin. Now, what's scary here is that Shin, he hasn't really been droning too much here. So Goblin, especially with top right getting up and running, is getting away with a better economy, where he's at least recovering. Lings run into they run into Archons, they get shut down. Lings get thrown away here top side as well. Shin throwing away a bunch of Zerglings, throwing them away. And Goblin, can he recover? Stargate into Skytoss. Storm has not begun. The issue here is I still don't see Goblin breaking any of these bases just because of the Lurker setup. Shoot at those Lurkers. Nice snap at the Archon. Goblin moves in. Does snipe the Scourge. Oh no! Okay, we gotta be careful with the spores. Gotta be careful. Meanwhile, Defiler production has begun. Getting into Dark Swarm. That'll be ideal here for the Lurkers. Is that kind of splitting? Yep. So kind of splitting on the way as well. And Shin is overwhelming. Shin is overwhelming. Moving further in. Finally punishing top right. Lurkers, they waddle in. Waddle into the mineral line. Oof. Yeah, spine shots going off. Goblin forced to respond. Forced to react. Shin is just perfecting his army. Goblin is working on that as well. The problem here is that Goblin's army is very, like, mid-tier. It's very much so a mid-game army here of Charger, Archon, Storm. Whereas Shin is kind of building up the anti-mid-game army. With Ultras, with Dark Swarm, Lurkers. Shin is going to try to brute force this with the Dark Swarm. Okay. It's still very messy though. Very messy. The Archon Volleys are still brutal when every link goes down. Like, this is nuts. Does land a plague at least, but yeah, that was a messy fight for Shin. And does he get away? No, the Defilers, they get caught. Losing one, losing two. Yeah, again, this is not worth it. This was not worth it for Shin. Losing all his lings and losing all the Defilers as well. Shin just having too much fun. Going for the Doom Drop. Back at home, getting speed. Making 6 more Defilers. Now, again, Shin has been very wasteful over the past couple of minutes. If this continues, then, I mean, Goblin has a chance. Has a chance. Doom Drop into the main. Goblin catching out Lings. I believe does have a recall. Not to the main though. And not to the main base Lings. They will hit top right. Doom Drop into the main. There's that recall to the natural. Upgrade's gonna be denied though. Yeah, massive pickups here. Takes down the Force. Takes down the Temple Archives as well. Takes down the Robot. Takes down all the tech in the main. At the same time, we're pushing towards that third. And it's all flashing red. Nice Dark Swarm. Ultra breaks through. The Ultra. Oh my god. Yeah, barely does break through. And with that Shin, he does break into that base, and Goblin just cannot keep up. He cannot sustain these losses. Not like this. Not like this, man. Chop back into the main. Into the natural even. 52 probe kills. Third base goes down. Goblin down to a 2-base economy. Really 1 base. Ah, it's too much. It's too much, Pappy. It's too much. Ah, no. The plague landed on the stalkers. This is the final push here for Goblin. Final push. This is it. It all comes down to this. And we have more defilers ready. Defilers are ready. Army's moving in. Darkstorm to defend. Plague on the main army. Oof. And GG gets called, and Shin will take a 2-0 lead for Team CRHB. GG. He will extend his lead here. I did see someone asking about herO's match. herO did win the first game. Shin will win the second game as well. And now CRHB, they're up 2-0. They're on match points. They're on match point here. As we mentioned before, CRHB, they are arguably, I would say, the strongest team in the league. They are very experienced in StarCraft EVO. The all-star team has been brought together here. And up next, we have the best player in StarCraft Evolution. Classic. He steps into the ring for the next player for Team CRHB. Meanwhile, up against Classic is going to be Thermal. Oh boy. Now Thermal, he is the ace player for his team. That is true, but he's still up against the best player in all of StarCraft Evolution. So it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one here. But if anyone can begin the comeback, it is going to be Thermal. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to be loading into game number 3. Again, early when it comes to Shin versus Goblin, unfortunately, because the cross spawns as well, like the early charge build, the early Archon push, it just took too long. It just took too long to really get going, to get across the map. In the end, we saw that Shin was able to snowball out of control with his Muta play, and then hard switch into Lurkers, mass expand, take over the map, and just almost suffocate Goblin, as Goblin just could not build up his own economy, and in the end was overrun. But here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner. In the top right-hand corner here of Blackrock, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Blue Terran for land of the Netherlands, representing team red, white, and blue. Can he bring it back? Can he bring it back and make a series out of this? It is Thermal. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the SC2 Protoss player, we have the red Protoss, we have the best Protoss in all of StarCraft Evolution. Representing Team CRHB, it is Classic. Let's go. Let us go and okay, the SCV is sent out across the map, and never mind. There is enough room back here to throw down a Rax. Are we daring enough to go for the proxy behind the mineral line in the natural? For now, CC first back at home. SCV, eBay block. Never mind. Okay, just going for the eBay block. So, greedy build here by Thermal, going for the block across the map. DC Classic attempting to punish, attempting to delay, attempting. Yes, Classic force take the unnatural natural. Force to expand elsewhere. Likewise, Thermal does confirm the location. Behind this, going for a 3x follow-up, 3x stim. So 3x is into the Academy, into stim, into a very strong bio timing. And of course, Classic is fully aware. He's fully aware of what's coming his way. Now we'll see if Classic responds with a Twilight Council into Charge, Twilight Council into Blink, or into a Robo response as well. Instead, Robo into Colossus. There are different ways to approach this. There are different ways to defend. I see in the YouTube chat. Buonanotte. Amigos de Brasil, papi. Fala galera, papi. Fala galera. Good to see you. Again, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves as we do have our follow-up here. Again, the Academy's on the way. Going for the Academy, going for Stim. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. Thermal also scouts. It is going to be the Twilight Council. Yeah, Twilight Council opener into Blink, Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Could be Blink, could still be Charge as well. Both are options, both are viable in their own way. Charge, I feel like, would be a stronger way to shut this down. But Blink would scale better into the mid game. So it depends on Classic's approach. Now going for the second gateway. There we go. Blink has begun. Getting into Blink. And not just Blink, he's going 4 gates. Oh, so 4 gate Blink Stalker. So the purpose here is not just for Classic to defend. If that was the case, we'd only see 3 gateways. With a 4th gateway Classic, the goal here is to defend, shut down the stim timing, and then counterattack. Oh, herO being cheeky. Yo, we got the boys. The boys are hiding in the tall grass. Unfortunately, Classic does bypass the tall grass. Can we bait him in? Not quite. Yeah, Marines are coming from behind, coming in with the surround, and he gets 1. Yeah, nice stepping, and it will catch 1 Stalker. Whew. 1 Stalker goes down. Nice moves here by herO. Medic has arrived, and now it's go time. Stim is about to finish. Yeah, Stim is now done. herO, he commits, and he will... will almost catch a second Stalker. Sort of a pathing there from Classic. Racing back home. Batteries are on the way. Classic, he's going to try to knock down the front door. Hey, it looks like he will. Wow, he will knock it down in time. Does knock down the rocks. Delaying the timing, delaying the push. herO hiding in the tall grass. Rotates around. Classic's ready.
You want a piece of me, boy?
And herO's going for the mech transition. Yeah, double factory. Double factory behind this. I do like the idea of herO recognizing that he's taken too long. Like, he's taken too long, so if he keeps going, he'll lose everything. Oh, so he's playing it safe. Meanwhile, Classic does find him, catching reinforcements, pushing into tall grass is still going to be difficult. So herO, he commits. He commits. He's sending it. He's going for the mineral line. Yeah, he's going into the main. There is no third. Stims up the ramp. Has the high ground. Gets 1 Stalker. A nice movement here by herO. Very nice movement. Oh, despite that, the army's overstimmed. Marine's going to be going down, and Classic holds. Yeah, Classic, he does hold on. Oof. Cleans up all the Marines. Cleans up the medic as well. And in the end, what was the trade? I'm afraid to look here, but it was 18 Marines and 2 medics for 2 Stalkers. To get 4 Zealots, I suppose, but really only 2 Stalkers. Brutal losses here. Brutal trade for herO. Classic, he does trade well. Remember what we spoke about? 4 gate Blink is designed not just to defend, but to counterattack. So we have our Mass Stalker, we have our High Ground Vision as well. Back across the map. Siege mode is not done. No, we need Siege mode. 2 seconds. Yeah, Siege mode just barely finishing up. We have to Siege up in time. There it is. Does Siege. Stalkers, they do rotate in. They blink into the main base, and they avoid the tank. Yeah, they avoid the tank. They can trade with the Marines. Boys are being pulled. And herO will hold. Yeah, herO, he does hold on. Does blink away. Classic pulls out. herO surviving. Behind this again, going to double armory. Again, making that mech transition happen. And herO, he would survive the 4 gates, but behind this, 3rd base. 3rd base now on the way. Charge, Storm, Gateway Explosion, Classic building up into the mid game. So is herO, but herO, he needs time to recover. Because of all this aggression, herO, he's forced to make tanks. He's forced into tank production, which means he has no presence on the map as he is delaying his Vulture switch. Actually, he's going by a tank, okay. Like, still is working towards eventual pure mech, but getting +1 attack. Moving out with the first wave of tanks, 5 tanks on the way. I do like this from herO. I feel like turtling up, you just fall further behind. Like, turtling up would not be the answer here against Classic. We're going to be as aggressive as possible. Storm is done. Oh. Ooh, massive storm. Oh, God, God, God. Every Marine goes down, takes the storms to the face. Crazy storms, Rappy. Thermal rotates down, tank will fall. GG. GG gets called, leads out the tanks, and Classic, he will claim the lead for Team CRHB. Who will claim the series, I should say, for the team. GG. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Classic, he will claim the series here for Team CRHB. As you mentioned, Classic, the best player in StarCraft Evolution, was going to be a hard one to bring down. herO, I do appreciate the dynamic play here that he brought to the table. He didn't just go for 3x stim, but he also was being very careful and very meticulous with his movements, making use of the tall grass. I do think that was really cool to see. He was able to catch a couple of stalkers at least, but unfortunately he did eventually decide to pull the trigger and commit up the ramp. Remember, the moment that he stimmed across the map up into the ramp, he lost the entire army. Then that triggered the counterattack. It did allow Classic to gain some momentum. We saw that it forced herO to push as well, and he got shut down. The storm was brutal, as storms completely annihilated the army, and with that, GG. GG well played. Classic does claim the series, but I will say that for this tournament, match 4 is still played. Even though CRHB will win the series, the 4th game will still be played nonetheless for score purposes, for point purposes, just to make sure there's no like minimal tiebreakers or minimal ties in the group stage, to make sure we get the most amount of points we can. Let's go. Let us go. 4K Blink 2010 vibes. I mean, 4K Blink is still a thing in modern StarCraft, like 4K Blink Stalker in TVP. Still very much so a thing. Has been for quite some time. There was a period where we saw it fall off a little bit, like in 2023, when infamously MaxFax, he was 4K, he was pulling a 4K Blink with 3K Blink, which was crazy. That was in the Gressvan map pool, if you remember. I want to say that was like end of 2024. So that's when we saw a little bit less 4K Blink and more 3K Blink, but then we saw 4K Blink once again in the last map pool. But regardless, we're now getting into our game 4. As a reminder, again, it is this series has a little bit less weight behind it, a little bit less weight, but regardless, points are still on the line. Let's go. As we're loading into Solar versus Goblin. herO lost so badly? Not at all. What? I would say herO performed better against Classic than Serral performed against herO. What are you talking about? As I mentioned, there was a dynamic back and forth there, which I appreciated, which was lacking from like the Reynor series or from the Serral series. But here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of match point, we have the Croatian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Goblin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player, the Broodor Zerg. It is Solar. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be getting into match on, not quite. We're getting into match point, but not on match point. Shit, feels bad, man. If only, Pat. If only. 18 Marines to 2 Stalkers. Yes, but are you ignoring the lead up to that? Like, that's kind of what we were praising about herO, is having that back and forth, having the movement, of course, to have that kind of like dynamic movement and play across the map. It was the eventual decision to push up into the main base, which did kind of cost herO the game. That is true. But it was the decision to move up. Up until that point, though, it was a little more dynamic. From here, we are going to be settling into our game. Again, we do have our hatch pool opener here by Solar, going for a later gas geyser. And welcome to match point. Now, when it comes to match point, we do have a very short rush distance by ground. So as you can see here, it's very short, very direct from natural to natural. But we do have the high ground advantage here at the natural, so this is a pretty solid place to pull off a defense to maintain yourself in 2 bases. The third, though, is brutal. As you can see here, we have the linear third expansion, which has high ground right next to it. Imagine tanks, siege units, lurkers, colossus as well. We have seen many a player struggle to defend this third base due to the high ground. If you lose high ground control, like, you have to fight for the high ground. You have to fight for this area, for this location, otherwise you will lose your third. So it's a pretty intense map. It's a pretty intense map. As, oh, we're going for a Stargate opener. Okay, so Stargate opener out of Goblin. Goblin's name is, oh, my apologies. My apologies. Euthermal does have a different ID in each server. So, my apologies. Should be fixed. I always forget about the name if we ever have to have a custom name. There we go. So players are going to be opening up. From here again, Stargate open out of Goblin. Meanwhile, it is going to be Fast Hydrogen out of Solar. Now, I didn't really get to speak about the players too much here, but Solar, he is one of the best Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. I say one of the best. I think I would still play Shin above Solar. I think I'd go probably Shin and then Rogue and then Solar, or Shin, Solar, Rogue. I haven't seen enough of Rogue to really have a more confident opinion about his place amongst the hierarchy of StarCraft Evo Zerg players, but it's up there. It's like top 3. Like Rogue, Solar, Shin, they're the top 3 Zergs, and they're like interchangeable between themselves. For the most part, I still think Shin is like above the other 2. But all very, very strong players. This is why I opened this series up talking about how this team, CRHB, is a crazy team. Like herO, Classic, and Shin and Solar, like ay. It's a hefty team, but and they got the best of the best. Meanwhile, the Oracle does come in from behind, catching out 1, 2, 3, 4 drones. Ooh. Nice damage so far. 4 or 5 drones going down, punishing lack of Spore. 6, 7. Oh my god. 7 drone kills. Very nice start for Goblin. Again, Solar, he skipped his Spore Crawler and he gets punished for it. Hydra's out of position from the Adept. And with that, Goblin does start things off with a lead. Let's go. Does start things off with a lead here. Behind this, we're going for the switch into Forge, into Twilight Council. From here, we can go into early charge timing or into Blink. So again, we'll see how Goblin does follow up into the mid game, whether he's more active and aggressive or a little bit more passive here. Based on the Stalker Warpins, it looks like Blink, making that assumption, but we'll see. Meanwhile, Solar rushing into 2-base Lurker. So 2-base Lurker out of Solar. Again, Solar, he was forced to make the Spore Crawler here at the natural. You can see that there's no Spore colony in the main base. Solar's cutting corners. Like, he's intentionally trying to get away with skipping spores, but he did get punished for it, at least at the natural. He's trying to get away with it in the main. That's why we have our Hydras in position. This time they're more ready. Oh, and meanwhile, it is not going to be Blink. We're going into Charge. Okay. So Charge is on the way. Meanwhile, the Oracles, they poke in. They get another 5 workers. Oh, gotta be careful. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my god, 9 drones going to be going down. Again, Solar having a very hard time keeping up. Mentioned earlier that that was... and Solar, he admits, he's like, you know what? I probably need a Spore. So Spores being made in the main base. Again, these Spores were late. They were delayed, intentionally so, and it wasn't quite worth it for Solar. So he got punished quite hard. 16 drone kills. Ay. So much economic damage being dealt, and Solar, he's committing across the map, but Lurker tech is almost ready. And Solar, he does not expand. No third base. We're going bam for 1 big Lurker all in. Show us the Lurkers. Here they come. Here we go. A very crisp Lurker timing. We have 6 Lurkers morphing in. 7 Lurkers morphing in. 8 Lurkers morphing in total. It's all or nothing. Now, thankfully for Goblin, he does have the Oracle. He has Revelations. Revelation is available. That's one way to deal with this. But he just revealed the Zerglings in the center, and now here come the Lurkers. 8 Lurkers moving in. It's all or nothing with Solar. There's the first Revelation. Does borrow, but the Revelation may not matter. Yeah, there are so many Lurkers. Mastery Shot's going to be going off. The Oracles, they will get some free damage, though. Yeah, free damage on Lurkers, getting 1, 2, 3. These Oracles have been the MVP this entire game. These are... Oh my, he kills everything. Goblin. Este Goblin. The Oracles, the MVPs, cleans up every single Lurker. And that's it. This was the whole point of the build. Was for a big 8 Lurker, 2-base all in, and it gets shut down completely. Completely shut down. And Solar, he has nothing left. Now forced to expand. Such a late expansion here for Solar. Ay. It's so late. It's so delayed. Goblin, higher worker count, faster third base, stronger economy. Goblin is in a much better position. And Solar, is he turning into a rock? Is he? Oh no. For those that weren't here for the beginning, the team name is CRHB. C is Classic, H is herO, B is Shinhibyeon, that's Shin. The R stands for Solar, because the Korean scene, they've given Solar the nickname Rock because sometimes his brain turns off and he turns into a rock back again. Feels like we saw a little bit of that here, as Solar is struggling. He is struggling. Archons are moving in. We have a revelation of the lurkers. Again, it was just really rough early game. I should emphasize that the build itself is not bad at all, but because Solar lost 16 drones leading into the all-in, like what do you expect? Like, it was just a brutal start to the all-in to lose 16 workers in lead up. Meanwhile, here we go. The lurkers, they get caught out one after the other. The oracles, they dive on the hydras. And they dive on in. They get two hydras. There's two hydras left. This third base will fall. Solar cannot expand. He cannot expand. Cannot get a third. And Goblin, he's popping up for his team. Red, white, and blue. Bad. True. Yeah, he's gonna pop off. He's gonna step forward, catching up more of the hydras as well. Catching up more hydras. Picking up Solar. More zealots floating across the map. And again, breaking this 2-base setup is going to be difficult for Goblin, but he doesn't need to. He's getting a fourth. He's getting a fourth base. Robo's on the way. If he wanted to, he could even just go for a Stargate. Like a second Stargate, Fleet Beacon, and work towards a mothership. And work towards carriers. Goblin, he can kind of do whatever he wants. Catching more hydras. 1, 2, almost 3. 2 more hydras going down. Oh. Yeah, the trade point working against Solar here. Trying to break out. That is a lot of hydras, to be fair. It's a lot of hydras. Oof. Solar steps in. Some heavy Archon shots on the hydras. Oh my god, so many hydras go down to the Archons. The Archons, they move their way through. There are some lurkers behind this. The lurkers, they help defend. Lurkers, they hold on. But Solar now down to less than half the supply. And there it is. There's that Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon's on the way. And Goblin moving in, catching out the lurker, catching all the hydras. Goblin might be cleaned up here, but again, he's trading very efficiently. Very, very efficiently. So, catching out another lurker. Zealot reinforcements come in, collapsing on the hydras. Goblin is being sent forward, once again cleaning up even more hydras. Again, heavy losses for Solar. He cannot build up. Ooh, jeez. Lurker X is insanely tough. They're crazy. Lurkers themselves, less so. Less so. GG. GG gets called, and Goblin, he does fight back. He does put a point on the board for team red, white, and blue. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, Goblin, he does fight back, does put a point on the board. Unfortunately, CRHB will still claim the win here, but a very impressive showing here by Goblin, just pulling Solar apart early on. Winding it back, remember, Solar, he was building up into a 2-base all-in, into a very strong lurker timing. But in the lead up to that all-in, he lost 16 drones. As we tried to emphasize at the time, it was intentional, like not losing the workers, but Solar, he intentionally skipped his spores because he opened Hydra. So the hope there, the goal, was to defend against the oracles with only Hydras and to get away with cutting corners, being efficient, and get away with skipping out on those spore colonies. In the end, it was not worth it. In the end, he failed to do so. In the end, the oracles, they tore Solar apart, killing 16 drones, insane damage. Eventually, Solar, he admitted that he had to get spore colonies. By then, the damage had been done. He still committed to the 2-base all-in, but it was a weakened all-in because of that early game damage. GG. GG, well played. Goblin shut him down. Whew. And with that, that leads us into our final results. Locked in here for the series. herO took down Blask initially in game 1. We had Shin take down Goblin initially in game number 2. And Classic took down Uwu Thermal in game number 3. So it was a strong 3-0 start to the series. And then Goblin fighting back and again earning some respect here from Solar in that final game. In the end, a 3-1 score in favor of CRHB. GG, well played. With that, that leads us into our third and final series of the broadcast and of Group B. One series left here tonight. It's going to be a best of 5 between Basilisk and Team Liquid. Meanwhile, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Baby Links. Thanks so much for gifting a sub to Kaiser Mike in the chat. Thanks so much. Oh my god. Used to the muscles. True. True. Oh no. But thank you so much for the gift and stuff. We appreciate it. I'm sure Kaiser Micah does appreciate it as well. As we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, again, Basilisk versus Team Liquid. And as a bit of a teaser for the opening match, Serral versus Clem. We'll get there. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the broadcast. We've returned here with the CranKy Season 4, Group Stage, Group B, week number 2. We just wrapped up with Bastards versus Team Red, White, and Blue, and CRHB versus the same team as well. And now we have one series left, one best of 5 remaining in this Team League Pro League format tournament. It is going to be Basilisk versus Team Liquid. Let's go. Let us go. If you're curious, what is Pro League format? Pro League format is when we do have our lineups. We have our lineups submitted ahead of time, and it is a best of 1. It is the best of 5 constructed by a bunch of best of 1s. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on the lineup here for Basilisk and Team Liquid. Let's go. Whew, let us go. So for Basilisk, we have Serral. Serral, who's going to be the starting player up against Clem in our initial ZVT. Game 2 is going to be Trigger. Trigger fielded against Cure in a PVT. Reynor versus the Laser. Ooh, a Home Story Cup rematch in a ZVZ. And then Serral versus Cure in game number 4. Let's go. Let us go. Now, coming into this, it's going to be an interesting dynamic here. I will say that Team Liquid are much more experienced in StarCraft Evolution. I said this before, but Cure, he is the ace player for the team. Cure, he is the best Terran in StarCraft Evolution at the moment. I would pin Cure above Bjorn when it comes to SEvo Terran play. Meanwhile, Laser has been devoting a lot more time into StarCraft Evolution as well. I would say that Clem is the weakest link. He's the weakest link on his team. He has been struggling so far in the Team League, so we'll see if he can recover and bounce back and have a stronger showing here. Likewise, on the flip side of things, Basilisk have also had some shaky performances, just because, again, this is a StarCraft Evo tournament, not StarCraft 2. Serral, he's the best player in StarCraft 2. StarCraft Evolution, it's a bit of a different story here. Serral, though, I will say, has been looking quite impressive with his Evo Zerg, like with his Brutal Zerg, has been looking quite impressive. I was most impressed by Serral's ZVZ more than anything. So we'll see if how he compares to Clem, though, after Serral showing against herO earlier, which again was a little bit more shaky. We'll see. We'll see as we're going to be opening up and getting into game number 1. Going to be loading into match point. Let's go. Let us go. Oh no, the pants are gone, Pappy, they're gone. Nowhere to be found. Never, Pappy, never. As we are getting into our first series, we're getting into game 1. Game 1 of our Team League match and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of match points, we have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the Finnish Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Let's go. Let us go. We have our best of one here. Clem is going to be rocking SE2 Terran, Serral rocking a Brood War Zerg. Now, I will say, even though I was saying that Clem is going to be the weaker link for his team, he is, of course, the best Terran player in StarCraft 2. He's able to play SE2 Terran as well. This is going to be Clem at his best. Clem at his best here, and Serral, we'll see if he can actually get into the mid game. Previously, we did see Serral struggle to do so. We saw very crisp timing out of Uber Thermal. Here, we're going to be going for an early gas build, though. Early gas, early spawning pool, delayed hatchery out of Serral. Interesting. Okay. Now, with this early tech, this typically leads into early Hydra play, I would assume. I would assume like late link speed, early Hydra into early Hydra as a tech of choice here. Otherwise, we could be seeing a fast lair instead. Eyes are going to be on Serral. Eyes are on Serral to see how he does open up. Likewise, we do see Clem just going for his own standard opener, Rax Expand. Welcome to Match Point. Match Point, of course, is a smaller map of the map pool. I say smaller map, has a shorter rush distance by ground, but the terrain here is quite interesting, to be honest. It's very, very interesting. We do have a ramp coming into the natural. We have a high ground pushing in towards the third base as well, so the terrain is quite chaotic at times, I will say. There is a lot of space here in the center of the map, a lot of space in the center, so we have been actually seeing a lot of split map scenarios where we do see one half taken versus the other half. And we'll see if we can get there. Serral, he does throw down his macro hatchery here as a part of the Warloff. So Serral, he has learned from his herO series. Remember, against herO, we did see the proxy hatchery, or sorry, the macro hatchery further back inside the main base. But here, Serral, he's refining his play throughout the course of these games. Link speed is being researched, and Serral actually pulls out. Oh, okay, so Serral, he pulls out of gas into link speed. There's no fast gas into fast lair or fast hydras. Not here, not yet. Jesus, how that's how he goes gas pool into hatch and a hatch into hatchery here, rushing into his third base. Okay, the greed, Pappy. There's all the hatcheries. Links I poke in. Remember, link speed is 10 seconds away, and we do have excess Raxes being thrown down. Clem, he's going for a 3-Rax. Looks like Clem, he's inspired by herO. He's inspired. If you recall, Uber Thermal did go for a 3-Rax stim timing against Serral previously. Looking very similar. Meanwhile, Links are able to bypass the initial Reapers here, and they will delay the CC. Yeah, CC is delayed, catching at 1, catching at 2. Nice pickups. Catching out to SCVs. Links, they pull away. Tech clouds being thrown down. Again, this is for stim for combat shields. We're getting those add-ons ready. Meanwhile, more macro hatcheries being thrown down. Serral pulling back in the gas. He pulls back in. And we're playing Hydras. We're playing into Hydras here. Not into Spire Tech. Oh. Reaper almost getting caught out. And Clem is staying at home until the upgrades kick in. So we're just waiting for Sim, waiting for combat shields. From here, we'll see if we double down into like a 4th Rax. But if that was the case, we would have already seen a 4th Rax by now. So this should not be an all-in. We can still tech up out of this afterwards into a factory, into a starport, into a 3rd CC. So we'll see how committed Clem is going to be with this. Meanwhile, back at home, Serral again still taking up into Ling Hydra. Lair, I believe, is still not yet on the way, so we're not rushing lurkers. Just Ling Hydra. There's eBay. Factory as well. Again, Clem is teching. And what's really cool here is that Clem is actually hiding a lot of his Marines. Yeah, the Marines are being kept hidden here in the main, obscuring his build, making it look more like a 2-on-1 even, instead. He's holding off. Hydra amassing. Side defense on the way. Army's revealed. Now someone knows. Yeah, Serral, he's aware. Does try to backstab, catching out 1, 2, 3 Marines. Very nice backstab. Catching out 3 Marines. Clem bleeding out units. Behind the Serral, he's ready on the high ground. We have 1 colony on the way. I believe that's at the 3rd. Yeah, 1 colony at the 3rd location. And no shot, Clem tries to brute force his way up this ramp. No, he's going for it. Oh my god, he's crazy. Okay. It's gonna back off, thankfully. Clem pulls away. So he respects the high ground. And Clem, he completely disengages. Back at home, starport is on the way, so we're going into that 3-1-1 follow-up. +1 attack. No 3rd CC yet. Not yet, might I add. But we are swapping, we are building up. Ooh, Serral catching us on the Marines. They're on A move. Yeah, those Marines were on A move. They were caught out. Ay. Clem bleeding out a lot of units. Back at home, Lair is almost done, and now we can start thinking about lurker tech. Or even something greater. We can work towards a Queen's Nest, into Queens, into eventually Defiler Mound. Hive tech. For now, lurkers. Now lurkers are building up. Queen's Nest yet. So we keep moving off the draw play. Likewise, main army is pushing out towards the south side. Serral, we'll see if he can keep up with this army. Currently, he is not fully where he's checking. Does find some Zerglings. Defending the main base. Does spot the main army. So he knows. He knows he's aware. Lurker tech is not ready yet, though. Just pure Ling Hydra. Collapsing the army. Tank laid to siege. And Hydras, can they hold their own? Oh, he tries to trade here. A lot of Hydra's going to be going down. The tank does siege up, and he cannot fight this. Yeah, not like this, not head-on, not without lurkers. And with that, Serral, he's being broken. Serral's being broken. Clem is overwhelming, pushing in towards the 3rd, getting on top of the high ground, dropping between the bases, catching reinforcements. Ay. Again, I wasn't too certain how the lurkers would fare on their own. Sorry, the Hydras would fare on their own, and they struggled. They did struggle, Pappy. Lurkers, now they're morphing in. But is it too late? Oh my god. Losing 1 already. Yeah, losing 1, losing 2 lurkers. Ay. Yeah, 2 lurkers go down. Again, the high ground and control of Clem. Denying mining. Denying the economy. You can see Serral setting up for this round. And Serral will clean this up, but again, some hefty losses. Losing 7 drones. And a lurker. Serral barely holding on. Oh, comes Sims in. Does Sim in, just get 1 more lurker. Serral trying to break out, and he will be able to. It's a tank. Yeah, tank does full, drop on the south side, only 2 Marines. Serral trying to stabilize, and Clem does race back home. Now, as we're pulling back, as we're just calming things down here, we are teching. Queen's Nest is on the way, so this will allow for queen production or potentially the setup for Hive. We'll see where Serral takes us. Likewise, Clem backing off, going into a second starport. Into liberation zones, okay. Moving biotank lib. Jumping into the main. Serral trying to get in position. We'll scout this. And just spot the double drop. Serral racing back over. Does have an army in position on the south side. So we're getting ready. It's getting ready. I was curious what the Queen's Nest was going to be for. We have the answer: Hive. Hive is on the way, so no queen production yet, and no ensnare either. Now with the fast Hive, we can try to rush into Defiler Mound, into Defiler Tech. We can also go into Ultras instead. I'll say for now, it might be a little bit wiser to work towards Defilers. Just because we invested so heavily here into Lurker Tech. To support said Lurkers. Oh! As Clem does give chase. Let's try to. We want a nice Lurker harass. Slips into the mineral line, catching out 3 ACVs. Distracting Clem. Keeping him busy. And being kept busy here. Lurkers a bar. We do see Serral trying to collapse in. Does get on top of the tank and the Liberators. Here gets 1, gets 2 tanks. Ugh. Still some messy trades, but he's forcing his way in. Wow, he's just forcing his way in here. Lurkers, they do bar on top of the high ground. Tanks are exposed, and GG. GG gets called in one fell swoop. Serral, he will break through the main army and take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We had a bit of a back and forth here building up into the mid game. Clem initially had a very strong position outside of the third base, knocking down the mineral line. Then he got surrounded, he got shut down, forced back home. And I assumed that especially because Serral was working towards the Hive, we would slow things down and build up. But Serral, he found an opening, he caught the main army, forced his way up the ramp, and with that, ended the game. GG. GG, well played. Able to end things before we really got to sink our teeth into the mid game. GG. GG, well played. Again, Serral will take a lead, and with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Getting ready for our next set of players here. For Basilisk, we have Trigger stepping into the ring as SC2 Protoss. Meanwhile, Cure stepping into the ring here as the Brood War Terran. Oh boy. Here we go. Now, bearing in mind, as we mentioned, Cure, he's going to be stepping in as the ace player for Team Liquid. He is the player that is going to have to start to fight back for himself and for his team as the best Terran in StarCraft Evolution. Let's go. It's going to be a bigger challenge for Trigger, and we'll see if he can pull this off. Can he bring it all together? As spawning in the top right hand corner of Fighting Spirits, we have the red Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. How do I want to? I guess like this? Yeah, sure. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. Let's go. Let us go. Boost 2 Thermal and beat Clem. Yes, like if you maybe missed the game itself, we were trying to emphasize that Serral, it looked like he had learned from the series with Euthermal, and also Clem did not go for the same build. Remember, Euthermal went for a much more committed 3-rack stim timing. Likewise, we saw that Clem had a harder time pushing across the map, pushing up the ramp, and we saw that Serral went for a bit of a safer build instead. So he learned from that series against Euthermal. And likewise, Clem has been struggling that much more in SE Evo. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting to game number 2. Again, welcome to Fighting Spirits. It is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right as well. We have our 4 spawn locations. Trigger is still looking for Cure, and we'll eventually find him. Eventually. So, we are taking. And coming into this... Oh, hello. So, because Cure is so well versed in StarCraft Evolution, I was just assuming we're going to go through XStim. We're going for a faster factory. Now, we have been seeing Mass Wraith hit the meta and be very, very trendy. I'm curious if we're thinking about a starport into second starport into double starport Mass Wraith production, or if we're thinking... I was going to say we might be also thinking like double factory, like Wraith play, sorry, not Wraith play, double factory Vulture play. But I feel like if that was the case, we'd already be seeing a second factory. So I'm leaning towards starports into second starport into Wraiths. Show us what you got. We shall see. Do we mech it up, or do we Sky Terran? Waiting for a set follow-up. Machine shop is on the way. No. Okay. Show us what you got. Yeah, double factory. Okay, it is going to be double factory. It is going to be mech. So not Mass Wraith. We are going to be meching it up here against Protoss. Again, mech is a little more viable from Brood War Terran just because it's a little more robust. The Vultures with Spider Mines, with Ion Thrusters, they do a great job at gaining map control and harassing. And we are going double factory, Mass Vulture. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen this build. This is like one of 2 builds that would be most prevalent in Terran matchups for the past year in SE Evo. But it feels like 3x Stim did kind of surpass this when it comes to popularity. It did for sure. But great to see 2 factory double Vulture play into the mech. So again, we are going to make it up. And meanwhile, Trigger, he did find Cure. Did find him. Trigger, he saw both factories. He knows. He knows that mech is coming. As a result, we might just go directly into... it was a robot opener. I was going to say we could go directly into charge. With a robot opener, we can start the prison for some harassment, go into immortal production. Armory is now on the way for upgrades here for Cure. Twilight Council is going to be late because of the faster robo, so later tech, a later charge. This will benefit Cure. As Vultures, they do sit up here outside of in the natural. Trading with the army, a little bit messy here for Cure as he'll bleed out all the Marines, but he does get into the main. And we have detection. Yeah, the early robo, the early observer means that we do have detection. More Spider Mines in the main base, but they should not connect. Oh. And they shouldn't pop off. Cure's being cleaned up. It's being cleaned up here behind this. Ion Thruster is now going to be on the way. We're switching into tank production. Tanks are slowly amassing. We are looking to master tanks. Okay, let's back in. Pulls away. Siege mode is being researched. Again, we're meching it up, baby. Meching it up. And we'll see where the game takes us from here. We have actually seen some decent mid to late game PvT so far when we cut the map in half. I'm still thinking of Maru series, for example. I'm thinking of Zaun, I'm thinking of Maru, I'm thinking of some of the onside matches from last week. Had some incredible games. Thinking of Team Liquid, sorry, I'm thinking of Skillus. Was it Skillus versus Maru? Like onside versus Team Liquid? No. God, all the matches, they blend together. They all blend together, Pappy. So they move in. Yeah, they're moving towards the main. Once again, looking to harass, and they will get some probe kills. Probe's going to be going down at the same time. Trigger, he does go for the counterattack. Trigger, he does not have blink. Bear that in mind. He's going to be careful. Here, got the minefield, running into tanks. Trigger, he will defend, and across the map, this is getting a bit out of hand here. Yeah, 8 and 9, getting up to 10. Oof, 10 probes going down. Some brutal losses here for Trigger. Messy defense. We're getting messy. This Trigger's still trying to be active again. Blink is still a ways away. Oh, nice catch there. Very nice. Catching out 2 vultures. Moving in. Getting a third, getting a 4th vulture. Here at the minefields, cannot push into the siege line, but still trades well. Still trades nicely. Secure, he's trying to build up his own forces, going into his own Goliath production, still just trying to round out his army, but so far Trigger, all he really needs to do is do what he's doing here, contain, right? Contain, cure on 2 bases, delay the expansion. Trigger's now getting a 3rd base, now towards a 4th base. Trigger has been struggling to maintain his economy, like, it's a really weird dynamic, where Trigger has denied the 3rd, that is true, is containing cure, at the same time, cure is killing a bunch of probes. No. Another 8, 9. The 9 probes going down. 28 probe kills in total for 23 vultures. Ay. So it's a bit of a messy game. It's a bit of a messy game here, where Trigger has to just keep replacing all those workers. And Cure's breaking out. Breaking out is breaking free. Yeah, I saw Avex in the chat earlier. You know what I'm about to say here. The 3rd base is crazy on this map. It's so far away. As Cure, he'll have to spread himself very, very thin to expand and take his 3rd on Fighting Spirit. And sweating on over. This does give Trigger some opportunities to maybe break a siege line and catch the army out of position. Oof. As we do every extent with the Immortals. The Immortals are going to go down. Some expensive losses here for Trigger. He shouldn't be here with the Immortals. Not like this. Not like this. 1, 2 Immortals going down. Ay. Again, having the Stalkers be active here was perfectly fine because we can blink away. The Immortals cannot. They are not easily replaced. Dragging the army to the minefield. Spider-Mine's popping up. Nice movement out of Cure. And Curie gets up his 3rd. Yes, 3rd base is getting up now. Up in workers, even on bases. Trigger trying to claim bottom left. Rotating in. But again, these Spider-Mines are buying so much time. Oh yes, there's Zerg Troll back. Bienvenidos. Good morning, good morning. As again, Trigger has some very inefficient fights. Still trying to move in. Trying to. Here, rotating over towards the top side. Behind this, going for the Robo, going for the Bay as well, switching into Colossus and not Destructor production. Trigger switching it up. Oh. Ooh, meanwhile, he's trading very nicely here, catching up all the Spider-Mines, chasing down the Vultures as well. But this is distracting Trigger. It's giving Cure some time to build up more tanks, build up more Vultures, really more than anything. The Vulture production continues. Catching a Stalker, moving back in. At the same time, another group of vultures pushing towards the natural. Vultures everywhere. Oh, there they rush in. The wall's not a wall. Picking up a Stalker and getting into the ramp. There they get into the main base once again. Going for the mineral line. We're going to lose more workers. Thankfully, there's a recall. There's a recall to the main. Could have been a lot worse. Oof. Army does run through the minefield. Vultures are being cleaned up. And now, at this point, this is becoming a little bit wasteful for Cure. And initially, he was killing, 10 plus workers each time. Now we do see Trigger is doing a much better job here at keeping up. With a recall, with the warpins. We're here engaged with the army. Vultures once again trying to set up. The other issue here is that, again, this has been eating into the production for Cure. His tank count is still not quite where it needs to be. It's still building up. Throwing away a lot of vultures. And I'm be honest, I'm a little bit surprised. Trigger, he's about to max out. No Skytoss yet. No Skytoss, no Stargates, no Fleet Beacon. We're still doubling down here on a very heavy ground army. We should be making that Skytoss transition soon. So we can start to take it to the skies. Now, going for the Dark Shrine. Vultures are still being so annoying. Yeah, they're so annoying to deal with. They're getting into another mineral line. Oof. Getting another 5 probes. We're building up to how many tanks so far? 22! 22! That's a lot of tanks. Oh my god, here he comes. We panned over just in time because here comes the main army, here comes the main push. We've got a couple of Goliaths in the mix. We have our science vessel. EMP is going to be soon available. Never going to be... Ooh, never doesn't go off. Yeah, massive catch on the disruptor. And again, we have 22 tanks. Cure's coming. This is it. It's time. Oh. Taking over to the face. Just the one. And again, a ground-heavy army that Trigger has to work with. How does he engage into all these tanks? How can he? I mean, Zealots are one way, of course. But he needs a heavy amount of Zealots and surround. That or Skytoss. More Zealots are warping in. Once again, Carry rotates over, taking the center base. I don't think I've ever seen a player take the center expansion, actually, on Fighting Spirit. Yeah, tanks a siege. Oof. CC goes down. EMP on the Stalkers, and Curie is pushing out. We're getting stuck with each other. Now staying up at the center. Vultures there on their mines. Oh, even catching a disruptor. Very nice. Very nice. Disruptor goes down. Mine shot does connect. And it feels like Trigger's just being outscaled in terms of army composition. Oh, there is still a little micro-rotation for Trigger, like catching out tanks on siege, of course, for sure. Speaking of. 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks going down. Oof. Decent catch here from Trigger. So we'll lose another disruptor. Okay, once again distracting. Distracts on the left. Trigger here rotates to the right hand side. I love that Trigger, he just ignores it. Yeah, he just ignores all these tanks, just going for the bases. But there's still 4 tanks on the high ground. There's tanks everywhere. There's tanks everywhere. And Trigger, he is deep in enemy territory. He has to get out of here. He has to recall. Yeah, he's holding on to that recall, and he should be able to get away. Oh, we cannot walk out. No. He's crazy. Yeah, he blinks in. Blinks in, again getting cornered, bleeding out more units. Pushing back into the base. Cure, he's otherwise distracted. Distracted by the zealots. Canu catches who. Zealot army's gonna be cleaned up. Stalkers are coming from behind. But so do more reinforcing tanks. And Trigger, he should lose everything here. Like, this army movement was crazy. Like, I don't know what the plan was here. Like, again, there were just tanks everywhere. What are we surrounding, Pappy? Three Stalkers get away. Heavy losses for Trigger, losing everything. And Trigger just getting overwhelmed. Just maybe a little bit overconfidence, or just misjudging the strength of the mech army. Misjudging the strength of his own. True. And again, like Trigger, he doesn't really have much to work with here. He does catch some reinforcements, which is great. Getting 1, 2, 3 tanks. Let's say 3, getting up to 6. Oh my god. Nice Matrix. Nice Matrix. These LSA do trade well for themselves, but at the same time, there's going to be 12 probes falling. These bases are going to start going down, and I don't see Trigger defending against them. And as I mentioned before, like Trigger, he was just stuck with a ground composition, not going Sky Toss. I mean, without that higher tech army, it's so difficult to play against mech. When you have an economic deficit. When you don't have that momentum. Keep moving further in, and GG gets called. GG gets called. Curious Noble's out of control, and Cure, he does tie things up 1-1. Oh, GG. Yeah, GG well played. We'll tie things up here. Again, it was an interesting choice. Like, the mid game was still like quite back and forth between both Trigger and Cure. Remember, Trigger, he was denying the bases. Cure, he was popping off and dealing economic damage. But again, as we started working towards maxing out our compositions, Trigger, he was kind of stuck in a very mid-tier composition of a gateway heavy army, which can work, especially if you're being hyper aggressive. But I will say that Trigger had a really hard time slowing down the third, the fourth base, the greater expansions there of Cure, and again was eventually outscaled. Never took to the skies, never quite teched up. GG. GG well played. And again, had some crazy army movement when it came to him deep in enemy territory, trying to like surround Cure, trying to set up that surround instead, just getting surrounded instead. Some crazy movement there by Trigger. GG. GG well played. With that, we're tied up 1-1, and now we're here to determine who will take a lead in this series. Up next, we have Game 3. It's going to be a ZVZ Home Story Cup rematch. It's going to be Reynor versus a Laser. Oh boy. Now, when it comes to this matchup here, I'm curious who lands on what. I believe it's going to be Reynor playing Brood War Zerg. We'll see if he was inspired by Serral last week. We'll see if he was inspired by the heavy lurker drop play. I guarantee you that Reynor was watching that series, of course. I'm ready for it. Ready for it. So spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Washout. So we have the... Oh, okay, with just 12 pulling. In the bottom left, we have the Polish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg, the SC2 Zerg. For Team Liquid, it is a Laser. Shaking my head. Hold on. Just fixing up the title. Is spawning in the top right-hand corner. Going for the 12 pull, we have the Italian Zerg, the Brood War Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. So we're going for the 12 pull here. Hyper aggression out of Reynor. We'll see how Laser does go gas first. Gas pull into a delayed hatchery here. So when it comes to the builds, when it comes to the openers, I do favor a Laser. He's going to have a later hatchery, early Ling production, and more importantly, early Ling speed. Reynor is going to have non-existent Ling speed with early Ling aggression. It's going to be a bit of a shakier defense out of Reynor as he's holding onto that lava, waiting for the pool. Here he comes. Here comes the aggression. Here comes the flood. But again, the laser's going to have like a big counterattack. He's going to have a big power spike afterwards. Reynor, I believe he will need a sunken coney to defend. I believe. Here we go. Mighty time for air, Pappy. Oh, the time for air had long gone. As you're trying to emphasize. Long gone, Pappy. Unfortunately. But here we go. Here we go. Reynor is moving out. As I mentioned, we have that early link speed timing here for a laser. Reynor now confirms the late hatchery. And Reynor, he needs to get ready back at home. He has to get ready. As the laser should not lose anything here. Oh. With good enough control. Pokes in, just dancing with the army. Oh, nice movement. Catching out the links. Yeah, does move in, does catch him out, and a laser. Reynor's gonna get surrounded. Reynor, he will lose almost everything. Heavy losses there for Reynor. Link speed is halfway done. And a laser, he's not link flooding. I kind of wish he would, to be honest. Like, there's no SimCity here. There's no wall off. There's no defensive queens. Like, I feel like a link flood would be ideal. And we're thinking about it, Bane Bust. He's going to go one step further. Not just a link flood, a Bane Bust out of a laser. Reynor, he has to wall. He has to wall off. And again, he needs those cornies. We need that side defense. Reynor's in trouble. Yeah, laser does overwhelm. Catching on more lings. And nibbling away at the door. Yeah, it does nibble away. Catching at one, catching at every single Zergling. Boys are being pulled. And this is why I did mention that Link Flood would just be ideal. Link Flood was delayed, but it's still coming nonetheless. It's still coming. Yeah, Lings are flooding across. Coney's on the way. Bane Bust is... we have the Banelings for the bust to knock down that colony. And again, Reynor, like, everything's just going south here. We mentioned it was just a build. I don't know if I want to say a build order win, but it was a build order advantage here for a laser, and he's gonna break through. He's gonna break through that front door. Yeah, the door has broken. Bailey's a waddle in, big connections, and a laser. He snowballs out of control, busting into the main. GG gets called, and the laser, he'll take a 2-1 lead for Team Liquid. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, an unfortunate build there for Reynor. So, winning it back, Reynor went for a 12 pool, a laser went gas first. And what does that mean? That means the laser had a big timing where he would have link speed over Reynor, and of course he chose to go for not just a link flood, a Bane Bust as well. Now, it is not like there are ways to defend against that, but again, you are heavily reliant on setting up early colonies. Reynor, when he went across the map, he saw that the hatchery was late, but he didn't see the gas. So Reynor, he knew it was at least pool first, it might be gas first. He didn't know which of the two. He did gamble by delaying his side defense, and with that, did end up losing that gamble. Lost the gamble. GG, well played. With that, a laser does take a lead for Team Liquid, and now we have... Well, now we're on match point. We're reloading the game before here. Oh boy, and I am ready for it here. It is going to be the two ace players, the strongest players for their respective teams. Up next, Serral versus Cure. Oh boy, as I mentioned, Cure, he is the kind of the ace player for Team Liquid. He is the best player or the best Terran player in all of StarCraft EVO. So he has that EVO experience, that EVO advantage. Meanwhile, Serral, the best player in SC2. Let's go. We have our ZVT. We're loading into Sylphid. Remember, Team Liquid, they're on match point. If Cure wins this game, Team Liquid, they win the series. So Team Liquid, they're on match point. Serral, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the SC2 Zerg. True, has that advantage. The SC2 Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. I said Reynor. And spawning in the top left hand corner, the top side of Sylphid, we have the Brood War Terran. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Now, If this was Cure's SE2 versus Serral's Brood War, I would have given the edge to Cure here because Serral's able to actually play what he does best. You know, again, best SE2 player in the world. He can play SE2 Zerg. We got to give the edge to Serral here. I do think that Cure does have a good chance to bring him down, but it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough mountain to climb. We'll see if he can. And the pressure's on Cure. Now, we're expecting this to lead into a 3x Stim timing. We've seen Cure whip out Mech already so far tonight. He did Mech against Trigger. We could see Mech against Serral as well, but I feel like you want to start with some momentum here. So we're leaning towards either a Vulture-based opening or 3x Stim. Eyes are on Cure. Meanwhile, Serral going Hatch, Pool, Late Gas. So delayed gases here from Serral, going for a greedier build, cutting corners. And we have confirmation, yep, 3x. So 3x Stim out of Cure. Cure, he's going for the early Stim timing. Remember, this is not an all-in, but it does hit quite hard. It does hit hard. As from now, we're selling in. So we're selling in. Welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player small map. We do spawn into bottom left, bottom right, or top side, so 3 possible spawn locations. Serral, he does scout bottom left first, and he will eventually find Cure. Once he finds him, he'll be able to confirm the build of choice, and from here, Serral has a couple of options to defend. We can either go Link Bane, Roaches, or we can go Link Queen. There are 3 ways to shut this down. As long as Serral doesn't overdrone, he should be fine. Should be fine. Like, this should not kill Serral by any means, assuming he's familiar with these builds, and and especially because even some light studying of StarCraft Evolution, you would very quickly come across this build. So Serral should know 100%. Yeah, you just have to come across any TVX matchup or TVP or TVZ matchup in the past year, and you would have seen like 3x Stim. So Marines are massing, Fire Bats as well. Nice catch on the Overlord, and we're going for a Roach defense. Okay. Very safe play here by Serral. Going for Roaches, having a much more robust early to mid game. Now, it's going to be on Cure to be mature enough to recognize when the aggression has failed and to pull back and to not overcommit and not to lose the army. So far, it's forcing out 2 Spine Crawlers. We have 3 Queens, a full wall off. I mean, this is a big reaction. Big reaction here from Serral. Cure, he might even just kill the 3rd.
SCV, good to go, sir.
Yeah, Stim is just now finishing. We can start to nibble away at the wall. Stim's in. Going for the Spine Crawler, actually. The first Spine Crawler is going to go down. Massive pickoff. He gets 1. Yeah, he gets 1 Spine Crawler. Now he's going for the Roach Warren. Roaches are amassing. I believe the Warren may still go down, but no, he backs off. And again, he just goes straight for the 3rd, forcing Serral to kill his own Warren. So he kills his own Warren at the same time the army does hit the 3rd base. Roach is going to be waddling in. How many Roaches exactly, though? 4. We have 4 Roaches. The Queens are waddling in as well. The Hatchery doesn't come down to half HP. And Cure barely doesn't have enough. Yeah, just barely not. Curie backs off. Again, mature decision. Behind this, Factory. Factory follow-up here. Serral has successfully defended. What did Serral lose? Serral, he lost 1 Roach. 1 Roach, he lost 1 Overlord, and he saved the 3rd. Saved the 3rd base. Best case scenario here for Serral. So yeah, Serral, he lost his Roach Warren, which is annoying, so he had to rebuild that Roach Warren as well. But he's building up in a 1-1. He already rebuilt the Roach Warren as well. And this leads into a stronger mid-game for Serral, because Serral can now hit a 1-1 timing with Roach Ravager. So currently I would say this is better for the Zerg. It'd be different if Serral lost drones or if he lost the base. Didn't happen. Curie scanning. Cure, can he collapse on these roaches? It's tempting.
Piece of me, boy.
Yeah, the temptation is there. Dust him in. Nice going give here from Serral, and Cure, he's breaking through. Yeah, Cure, he is breaking through. He does take down 3, 4, 5 roaches, but not enough. Yeah, not enough. 7. Takes down 7 roaches, which is not a bad trade, but doesn't break through the defensive line. That was 7 roaches with 6 marines and 1 fire bat. So technically, I would say that was a more efficient trade from Cure. And I do think it was important that he was able to trade then and there before Serral's roach count snowballs out of control. So keeping it low. Does keep it low. Cure, he reinforces. Didn't lose any medics. Trying to keep this going. Trying to. Okay, rotating around. Does rotate, checking for a 4th base. There's no 4th. The Radiate is now on the way. Curie still needs a little bit more time, and Serral's coming. Serral, you can see here, he does run up to 69. Nice. 69 workers. We have Link Speed on the way. Burrow's on the way. We're getting into Roach Speed. But it looks like Serral at this point is going to fixate on purely Roach production. Oh boy. I say Roach production. It's going to be Lingbane Roach Ravager. We'll see when... I mean, again, the 4th base is a little more delayed, so Serral, he's fixating on army and tech. He's taking up. This tech is a good sign for Cure. It tells us that Serral plans on going into at least Infestors and maybe even Hive Tech. If that's the case, then Cure can get his 3rd. He can get his 3rd base. He can safely expand. Serral's thinking further ahead. He's getting ready for a longer game. Meanwhile, a big shout to Sian in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thanks so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast, I'm assuming. Hope you had a great time. Este, Sian. Obrigado, papi. Obrigado. There's a curious Sian. Of course, he is a Brazilian caster. Brazilian Portuguese. Does cast. Thank you. Thank you. Always appreciate it. For those who just now tuning in, welcome to the Crank Gathers group stage. Is a StarCraft Evolution tournament, SC Evo. So we have the Hive on the way for Serral. It's getting his Hive, droning up the 4th base. So again, this is giving Cure the opportunity to build up a greater army. And ideally, we do want to work towards, like, not mass science vessel, but we need more vessels here. Again, the Radiate is done. We're building up more vessels over time. And vessels are ideal against Zerg-based compositions to irradiate Ravagers, Ultras, Infestors, Vipers. It's a good counter here to these high-tech units. So here he needs time to perfect his army, to build up his tanks and science vessels. 2nd starport's on the way for double science vessel production. Curie's getting there. But before we can get there, the Vipers are on the way and Serral's maxed. Serral is maxed out. I should emphasize as well that Serral's maxed army is not ideal. A lot of the supply here is stuck in Roach Ravager. It's a very inflated supply, so this is not an efficient army from Serral. He wants to fight though. He wants to fight so we can get rid of these roaches and replace this with a more efficient army, with a more efficient composition. So he does want to get rid of these roaches. Typically this would lead into Ultra Tech. Speaking of, yep, there it is. Ultra Camera's on the way. Cure moves out. As he moves out, so we do see Serral moving in. Ooh. Yeah, Curie's out of position. Roaches apex forward. Will distract Cure. Uh-oh. Oh no, a bit of miscontrol. Cure lifts his 3rd, pappy, no! So it looks like he might have like double clicked by accident. So he selected both CCs. Hopefully he notices soon. Hopefully, as we're losing a lot of income. There we go. That's misplaced. That's one hex too far south. Oh, that's... It's unfortunate. So funnily enough, because it's not lined up well, that's why the comsat station is actually like depowered. It's not actually connected. Meanwhile, nice radiates. Yeah, radiates on the Ravagers. Another radiate on the Roach as well, doing a lot of damage. Serral, I'm curious if he knows he can kill his own units. As the radiates, they soften up the army. Nice burrow to heal up. Does burrow, does heal up. Look, who needs scans anyway? True, true. And this could be, we could be missing out on mules, so thank God. Thank God. That the comsat station's a little bit more limited in how it's utilized. Oh. Ooh, catching out one of the Vipers. Nice, the radiates as well, catching out both. Yeah, both Vipers getting caught out. Likewise doing more damage to the Ling Bane. Ooh, will have ducked one more tank. Gets one, gets two. Getting the most out of these Vipers while he can. But Cure holds. Cure does hold on at the same time. We do have a drop coming into the main base. Sorry, going for the Nidus Worm, going for the mass Roach. Shall see irradiates. And nice control, pulling back those Roaches. Does pull them back. Marines, they hold the line. This is going to be cleaned up, but you could definitely make an argument here that Serral, again, he wants to get rid of this. So we'll throw away all of his Roaches. So remaxing this time with Ultralisks. Meanwhile, how many... Jesus, we have 8 vessels so far. Soon to be 10. I mentioned this earlier, but ideally you do want a very heavy assigned vessel count. Because you want to be able to irradiate every single Ultralisk. And Vipers as well. Oh no! And Vipers as well. Cure getting caught with his pants down. And heavy losses for Cure. Losing medics. Yeah, losing 1, 2, 3, 4. Losing up to 6, 7 medics. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, miscontrol out of Cure. He gets caught with his pants down. The pants were down, Pappy. No. He's gonna rush those bar. Trading as best we can. Picking up a couple of extra SCVs. Serral remaxing here. He's got his ultras. Where are the vessels? They're a little bit further back. Vessels are further back. Nothing nice into the main. Army sims in, catching a Corruptor. Oh. Does radiate 1, 2 Ultras, and some of the Corruptors as well. And nice defense matrix. Cure he's holding. He's holding, he's defending. Still kind of very tense game state here. As Serral, he is now getting to a higher Viper counts. Bunch of Corruptors did stack. And more Corruptors, more Vipers. This does mean a lower Ultra army, so it's only 4 Ultralists on the ground. It's more Ling Bane reliant. In a head-on fight, I have to favor Cure. I have to favor Cure's army right now. Cure is also Supermax, which adds to that. Does have a Supermaxed army. Still of center. That's never going to be fixed, by the way. That's okay. The CC. Never going to be fixed. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The handicap. True. We get spotted. Cure setting up. Oh, getting a little bit bold. Vessels are moving in. He wants to irradiate. He gets 1. He gets 1. He gets 2. Irradiates 2 Corruptors, the Viper, and one of the Ultras. And another Ultra gets caught. Vessels they pull away. 1 gets caught out. And the Marines, they stand their ground. They stand their ground. The Banelings, though. Oh my god. Banelings roll in. Nice splits here by Cure. Irradiates every single Ultralist. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, radiates all the Ultras, forcing them back. Cure stemming in. Stemming forward. Ooh, catching out the Nidus Worm. No, there's a backup Nidus further back there, thankfully. There's no Nidus Worm. So they can pull away. Meanwhile, the Ultras are getting caught out. As we're expecting more Radiates for now. Stimming on the right-hand side. Ooh, there they are. Yeah, massive Radiates. The Lings, they clump up. Oh my god. Yeah, Lings are being punished. Ultras, they do close that gap though. Ultras are moving in. Not enough. Not enough here. He dominates the left-hand side. The expansion, both of them are going to fall at the same time, losing another hatchery. That's 3 hatcheries going down. Serral being pulled apart. Losing more bases. Losing more economy. Doesn't find the drones, but we'll at least get the Nidus. Oh, no, never mind. Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. Curious cleaned up. Fight does finally go Serral's way. But again, Serral is struggling economically. You can see because 3 bases just went down, Serral, he has no bank. So he burned through his bank. Oh god, we have massive Radiates once again. Oh god. Split, Pappy, split. Not like this. There we go. I'll split up those Corruptors. Again, look at the bank comparison is insane due to the efficiency of the vessel, of course. Like hyper efficient vessels. We want to get to the point where we can irradiate every single unit. Every single high-tech unit, I should say. Landing 2-3 more Radiates. Corruptors that get caught out. Massive losses here for Serral. Losing the Corruptors. Irradiates and the Ultras. The vessels, they pull away. He wants more, Pappy. He wants more. Oh, he wants more. He gets it. Oh, bit of miscontrol. Yeah, vessels, we gotta calm down. Gotta pull back. Have to pull away. How many Ultras? 7. Oh, decent Ultra count. We have 7 Ultras. Fresh wave of vessels have arrived. Serral's just being bullied back. Speaking of, no, not again. Yeah, covering everything. Ultras, they commit. Yeah, they commit in. They will catch a couple of Marines. Base still goes down. Ultras are falling. And Curious stimming in. Yeah, he's stimming and he's winning. Breaks through the main army. Takes down the expansion. Takes down the Nidus. Now he can push in towards bottom left again. He's going for it. Finds the Ultras. Defense Matrix. Yeah, nice defense Matrix. That one Marine holds a line, Pappy. And with that, we spoke earlier how Serral was broke. He was broke, and now he can't max out. Serral, he cannot afford to max out. Again, he has been broke for quite some time. Struggling to max. Losing 2 more bases. Center right is still not yet saturated. Radiate OP. I mean, Radiate reminds me of when Terrans would go Mass Raven and... Sorry, I say Mass Raven. If you recall back in Heart of the Storm, Hunter Seeker Missile, it was very similar, where you'd have like Mass Raven, Mass Hunter Seeker Missiles, like... Just, I mean, energy-based units in general that do damage. Like, it's... Yeah. Very reminiscent of those days. Of the Mass Raven days. Not quite as... Not quite the same. Just because we still have a supportive army here, it isn't pure science vessel. So it's not like the pure Raven that we would have. There should be Hunter Seeker Missile plus auto turrets. Oh, nice fungal. Nice fungal, nice Parabomb combo as well. Finally catching out some vessels. Yeah, a lot of vessels do go down. But it will cost Serral 3 bases. He lost center left, bottom left, and this other center left base. So 3 hatcheries have gone down. Serral, he still has mining. Like, these bases still have more resources than you typically expect. So he's still able to maintain himself somewhat. Jesus. But Cura's Bank is very comfortable, and Serral, he's switching into Swarm Hosts. I mean, I do like this a little bit more. I mean, kind of. What are the swarm hosts eating into? Ultras. So it's going to be less ultras, more swarm hosts instead. I do like this Serral switching gears here because clearly mass corruptor ultra is not working at all. It's not. Swarm hosts have potential, but just once again though, there's still going to be targets for science vessels. We'll see what kind of angles we can get into. Ultra's getting caught out. Oof. Curious fanning out. Setting up for another expansion. Here comes the Lycos waves. Swarm hosts have arrived. Sending out the wave here to catch us some tanks. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 4 tanks go down. Not bad. Not a bad trade. So this should start reducing the tank count at least, but Curie can start thinking about BC. That's what I would be thinking about here. Is if Swarm hosts start hitting the field and start trading well against ground units, then you can just go into like a Sky Mech army of like Biomedic Science Vessel BC. Right now there's no Fusion Core, I believe. Yeah, there's no core. Wait, do we even have a core? No, yeah, we do. Do we? It's a guess of myself. But we'll see how Kira does decide to commit. So far, just committing to more vessels. Because the fusion, the Yamato upgrade is on the science tower, it's on the control tower, right? So it moves in. Or is it science facility? I'm assuming facility. For now, though, again, we're just 9 more bases, 9 more expansions. We can see that Serral's doubling down with more swarm hosts. Secur's pushing in towards some of the other mining bases of Serral. Uh-oh. Bottom left. Yeah, bottom left is exposed. I mean, there's not really much mining left. There's one patch. Oh, no, the irradiate! The stacking drones! Oh, my God. Takes down the entire mineral line. 15 drones going to be going down. Locust wave comes in. There's a defense matrix. Curie defends. He holds. We lose 1 tank. The irradiate's Bappy. Again, not the most important amount of damage just because it's only 1 patch left, but still, 15 drones. Still damage nonetheless. Now this center right base is the most important mining base for Serral. Most important expansion. Yo, you thought storm drops were crazy? Nah, the irradiate harass. Let's go. As this is it. If this base is broken, then Serral, I mean, he has been building up a bank, to be fair. Thanks to the swarm hosts, like the swarm hosts have been much more efficient. Much more efficient. Ooh, speaking of. Locust, they move in. Hey, they make their way through the Marines. They try. They do try. There we go. Radio on one of the swarm hosts. Oh, vessels are exposed. They're catching at 1, 2, 3, 4 vessels. Very nice catching from Serral. The fungal locked him down. Oh God, still clumping though. Yeah, still clumping up. Por favor. Oh my God, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're losing so many corruptors. Split. No. Jesus. That was what, 5, 6 corruptors going down. Split, Pappy, split. Yeah. Initially, that was a good trade. Initially, remember, we caught out, what, 4 vessels? 5? The stacking be crazy. As Locust Wave comes in, gets cleaned up. Curie keeps pushing. Again, it all comes down to this base. It all comes down to this expansion. And Curie's just sealing, so we're cutting Serral off from it. Nice fungal, catching out 2 more vessels. Ultras they move in. A bit of a messy fight. Yeah, we're getting messy. As the final ultra is going to go down. Cure's reinforcing. Cure has a bank. Pushing further in. He's not done. Locust Wave harassing, catching out some stray units. Oof. Okay, Radiate on the Infestor. Oh, no. The Infestor's killing the other one. Cuidado. No. He wanted to go back in. And you can see Kira's made his way in. Like, it's all about controlling this area, this ramp. If we can control the ramp, then we can push into the mineral line. Nice fungal. Radiant on the Corruptors. There's not actually much army here for Kira. But he pulls back to the turrets. Yeah, he pulls back. We have more Radiates coming in. More reinforcements, more Radiates connect. Better splits here from Serral. Oh. Don't clump up! No, he split so well earlier. God damn it. Aye. See, he splits so he shows us that he can, and then we bring them all back. GG gets called, and Cure, he will claim the series 3-1 for Team Liquid. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Cure, he is the best Terran player in SC Evo, so he's coming in as the ace player for Team Liquid, and he was able to shut Serral down. Again, Serral, he's much more inexperienced in StarCraft Evolution, so, you know, bear that in mind. He's very, very inexperienced. He has very limited games and very limited practice on this mod, so this is why coming into this we said that Basilisk on paper, they're the best team in StarCraft 2, but they're one of the weaker teams in StarCraft Evolution because of that inexperience from Serral, Reynor, and Trigger. But regardless, it's like a fun experiment to have like the best SC2 team compete in the format where they may be a little bit less familiar with. Was fun to have them in, was fun to see them face off in SC Evo. GG, well played. And again, we saw that I will say that Serral switching to Swarm Host was better because and if you noticed, he wasn't really achieving much with his ultras, and he was stuck on ultras for a very, very long time. When he switched into Swarm Host, he was building a bank. Like, he was building up a bank, and we saw some better moments where he was able to catch out the science vessels with fungal growths, with parasitic bombs as well. Unfortunately, it just took a long time to get there, right? We were stuck on ultras for too long. We were stuck on ultras for a very, very long time. Eventually made the switch, which was great, but by then Serral had already lost control of the left-hand side. He had already lost 3 bases. He had already lost 3 expansions. So he had switched into a more efficient army with only 1 base mining. So it's like, so Serral didn't really have much more longevity in that game. He got shut down. GG, well played with that. Cure, he will take the game, and Team Liquid will claim the series. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching with the chat. What is this? SC1 versus SC2? Yes. This is StarCraft Evolution. StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does put together Brood War versus SC2. And in the end, we did have Team Liquid. As you can see here, they just took down Basilisk 3-1. Serral did kick things off initially, taking down Clem. And then Cure took down Trigger, Laser took down Reynor, and Cure took down Serral at the very end. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Team Liquid. And that wraps up Group B. Group B has concluded, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's see where the standings lie. Where do they lie? Who made it through and who did not? Un momento. One moment. As of course, last night we did wrap up and we did cover Group A. So Group A did already conclude last night. Here we do have Group B wrapping up as well. Okay, so let's very quickly head on over. And I'll give a link to the brackets in the chat. There you go. Is Laser back on Liquid, or was this before he left? I mean, this is a game from last night. He's playing for the team, he's not on the team, if that makes sense. So this is current games. There we go. Here we go. As we are going to be getting into our brackets. Beautiful. Bam. Okay. So heading on over here, I just gave the link in the YouTube and in the Twitch chat as well. This is Group E. The standings are now finally in. Again, it was round robin group stage, 4 teams facing off, and we have our final standings. We have Team Liquid finishing in first place with a 3-0 scoreline. I did believe that Team Liquid would do well for themselves, but I was expecting them to finish in second place, not gonna lie. 3-0 for Team Liquid. They took down a team Red, White, and Blue. They took down a team CRHB in that 3-2 scoreline. Very close, very clutch, going all the way to the ace match that was earlier in week 1. And then, of course, we had Team Liquid. They just took down Basilisk as well. So Team Liquid undefeated in the group stage. It was a little bit shaky for them when it comes to their matchup against CRHB, but did come in first place. Meanwhile, CRHB, they came in second place. They were the team that I was expecting to come out in first place, actually. CRHB, they took down Basilisk. They went down to Team Liquid, and then they took down Team Red, White, and Blue. We had Team Red, White, and Blue coming up in third place. That was, of course, Uwu Thermal's team. That was Team Red, White, and Blue, the Freedom team of Croatia and Netherlands. True. As you can see, all of these countries, they do have the flags of Red, White, and Blue, Netherlands and Croatia. So again, they did actually show off against Basilisk earlier, but they struggled against Team Liquid, and they did struggle against Team CRHB, you know, finishing in third place. Then we had Basilisk in last place here as well, which is kind of what we expected. But once again, as I mentioned, Basilisk, they are the best team in StarCraft 2. They are. Like, they're the most recent World Team League champions. But in StarCraft Evolution, it requires a different skill set. It's a different mode, different game. Regardless, it was fun to see them compete in a format that's a little bit more unorthodox to what they used to seeing. So really fun to see them face off in StarCraft Evolution. Serral looked the most impressive, to be honest. But there's only so much Serral can do. So you can see here, Basilisk versus CRHB. Serral won against Shin. Serral he won against Solar. Like, Serral won his games. Only Serral. Here for versus Red, White, and Blue, Reynor was popping off. Serral did struggle a little bit, but Reynor, he was able to have his own showing as well. And then, of course, we had the last series where Serral won against Clem, but then it went all for Team Liquid. Again, it's a team effort, Bab. It's a team effort. But again, really nice games, really nice matches. And with that, that does conclude our group stage. And now I believe the playoff bracket has been seeded. One moment here. Okay. So we have our playoffs. Playoffs are going to be taking place next week. Next week of the playoffs. Let's go. Bam. So as you can see here, so you can see Group A and Group B, they just wrapped up. From Group B, it was Team Liquid and CRHB. From Group A, it was Onside and Stowny Balls. Here we go. Now, funnily enough, the Basilisk performance that we had, I was expecting that out of Onside. I was expecting the same thing out of Onside, but Onside had a surprising showing. I was expecting Shopify to have a similar performance to Team Liquid because of Bjorn and Lambo. Like, Bjorn and Lambo, like, they especially Bjorn. Like, Bjorn, he's a very, very strong Terran player in StarCraft Evolution. Likewise, Lambo as well for Zerg. But no, Shopify had a surprisingly rough time in the group stage, and Onside popped off instead. And coming into the playoffs, here we have our seeded bracket. First, it's going to be Onside versus Team Liquid in the upper bracket finals. Again, as you can see here, this will be in 6 days. So just under a week's time. Just under a week's time is going to be Onside versus Team Liquid. They're going to be facing off in their series. Likewise, we have Stowny Balls versus CRHB also taking place in 5 days' time. So again, day 1 will be lower bracket semis. Day 2 will be upper bracket finals. So these are top 4 teams. Top 4 teams. Onside, Team Liquid, CRHB, and Stowny Balls. Oh boy, coming into this, it's hard to pick a favorite team. Like, Team Liquid are very strong. Like, again, Cure, he leads the charge. It also depends on Clem. Is Clem going to start practicing StarCraft Evolution? As I mentioned before, I feel like Clem is one of the weaker links on Team Liquid right now, specifically for SC Evo. But if he starts practicing and improving his StarCraft Evolution play, then he can also become a very, very strong asset as well. And I will say that right now is a time period where we could actually see Clem start to ladder StarCraft Evolution, because up until this point, and what did we just have? Home Story Cup, right? Home Story Cup was what, last weekend or 2 weekends ago? Because of Home Story Cup and because of all these other big events, like, it's hard for players to justify practicing StarCraft Evolution. But with Home Story Cup wrapping up, the only big event that's currently ongoing right now is RSL. So yeah, true. I think Clem is still in RSL, right? So, so the players that are competing in RSL, they're going to be focusing on that, of course, but the others, they can fixate and focus on this whenever they can. to get ready for their matches. Likewise, I still have really high hopes for CRHB. Like CRHB, like they still on paper are a very, very strong team. We'll see how they come together. They started a strong showing here in the group stage, but they did go down to Team Liquid. I would not be surprised if this leads into like a Team Liquid versus CRHB finals. Like maybe Team Liquid take down Onside, then CRHB take down Stony Balls and Onside, and we see like a rematch finals. That's going to be my tentative like prediction, but who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen. Like Onside, especially with Ryung and with Maru and with Zhao, like they can definitely put on a good show as well and have a strong showing. Stony Balls, you can argue like they're like almost, they have like a lot of SC Evo specialists with Milky Cow and Zardians, and yo, they got some nasty builds in them as well. Like we saw the TVTs from Zardian to snipe some key Terran players. That was crazy. So unfortunately there's no Terran opponents in CRHB, so there's no TVT to take advantage of there, but we'll see nonetheless. I look forward to it. Again, this will be in 5 days time, this will be in 6 days time. Next week playoffs. Oh boy. And of course we'll be there for those matches, for those games. Clem plays this weekend in RSL in a few hours. Yeah. So again, Clem is still going to be focusing on RSL most likely, but hopefully he can find some time to tighten up his Evo play for the playoffs. That's what we're hoping for. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. Here for the time being. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Hope you enjoyed the mass irradiate, baby. True. As we have wrapped up our morning broadcast, we're going to be live later on tonight with Master Sworn Open. That's going to be later on this evening, and Sparkling Tunic Cup tomorrow evening as well. So back-to-back events. More content, more StarCraft is coming. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. If you want to support us, if you want to follow us, you can do so via socials. Again, if you maybe miss out on some of our live coverage, if you missed out on the previous weeks of this tournament, I do highly recommend the VODs. VODs are over on YouTube, youtube.com/CranKy Ducklings. You can go under the live tab. It's all there, especially Serral ZVZs. Like Serral ZVZs were crazy in Crank Gathers. So I do recommend those VODs. You can check it out over on YouTube. Otherwise, if you want to support us monetarily, you can do so via Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. As you can see here, we do host Tunic Cup on a weekly basis and Master Sworn Open on a monthly basis. They are this weekend, and that is all funded via the Patreon. So thank you so much, all our patrons. We appreciate the support. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. We'll see you guys in 6 hours, 6.5 hours for some more StarCraft for MSO, for Master Sworn Open. We'll see you then. Until then, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go freshen up and get ready for the cast this evening. I'll be adminning the event. Otherwise, stick around. We'll be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who do we? We got a lot of options here. I see Foxer's live, Pili's live, and Trigger is live as well. I'm torn. I feel like Trigger hasn't been raiding he hasn't been streaming too much recently, so we'll give him some love. He also just played. He played for Basilisk, so we'll give him some love, give him some support. Yeah, that's the Trigger. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.